making a detailed plan. Just if that's been counted for, cool. If not, then that's it's its own story.
Yeah, you have to understand that, like, we were riding hard. There was no time to shit.
Oh, he found time to shit.
Could have just pulled his pants down while you're writing.
Oh yeah, I get more spell slots now. Hell yeah.
Okay, well, basically where you guys had left off is you'd made it to exactly the place where you were supposed to be, but instead of finding like a building or an entrance to, you know, a very obvious door or any convenient thing, what you had found, if I recall correctly, was essentially like a stone dais at the top of a hill, at the summit of one of the mountain ranges. And you'd been following a road to get there. So you're pretty confident this is the right place to be, but you haven't found an obvious entrance. Given the fact that it's been like 3 weeks, it feels like 8 million years, and we haven't really done a whole lot. I can understand why you guys might not remember any of the other details. So we can pick it up from there if you'd like, or we can find a different spot where you're clearer of mind.
Give us the details.
Shit. Describe the breathtaking view.
For the sake of
make me feel something,
you, I don't think I'm gonna describe a breathtaking view because it's gonna take a while.
Is that the only thing up there?
It's I mean, there's the
only thing of
vague
significance.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's man-made, that's out of the ordinary, that's not just things that belong on the top of a mountain.
Outstanding. All right. Well, when the sled comes to a stop, Carlos is gonna jump off and investigate the dais.
Okay. I'm just going to say, for the sake of Anton's presence, because he's physically there, he's mentally checked out. And unless you guys want to specifically interact with him, he's kind of like over in the corner conducting watch.
Door, just let him sleep.
Yeah.
He's fucking
exhausted. Well, my point is he's just
sort of... a man with poopy pants really does something to you.
Yeah.
Nephis would get off the sled.
Sorry.
Oh.
You're at the forge. You're at the map marker of the forge.
Should be that red dot there.
Oh, hell yeah. We did it.
Did it. Where the fuck is everyone?
Sorry, I'm talking into the side of my mic. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Nephis hops off the sled upon its stoppage and looks around the surrounding ground. I would like to look for to see if there's been recent tracks from the road towards the forge.
The forge.
I got a 22.
A 22. And just, sorry, I was looking at something else as you were explaining what you were doing, and I caught everything that wasn't the skill check for the roll.
I would just like to investigate to see if there's any like tracks going from the road to the forge. So I rolled survival.
Yes, with your 22, you absolutely find tracks. And not only do you find tracks, you notice that a lot of the mud prints that lead off the road and onto the dais have really embedded themselves in a few symbols. And the reason why they weren't obviously apparent is just because of the amount of dirt and stuff that had filled in. But throughout your investigation, you notice that there are some symbols that have been etched into the stonework of this dais. Each of them corresponds to one of the different main deities of the Holy Triad, which is what you're currently the people who had employed you to this task in the first place.
Copy that. Can I differentiate if they are relatively fresh or just like old?
They are fresh, but it's the buildup of detritus, I guess, has been built up over time, but there is fresh mud. So people have been here using this recently,
Copy that.
stepping in specific spots. Cool. Would anybody
Let's-
else like to? There we go.
Let's forge ahead.
Does Nephis share this information with anyone?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Well, for I guess Nephis specifically, because he's the one who's found these symbols. You're aware that the three main symbols are Tyr, the maimed god, Ilmater, the broken god, and Torm, the god of duty. And these three are the symbols that are the most sort of dirtied and used. There's a fourth symbol for Bahamut. It is quite clear to see, but is untouched.
So these are all on the ground, like from like.
No.
sort-
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So the dais. I know. I'm
sorry,
working
I
on
don't know
information
what
that you guys
I
might
don't
have
know what a
remembered.
dais is, so I'm
That's
I'm-
fair.
I think a stone circle in the ground, right?
Ah,
I think.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So there's a stone. Amazing. If I search up dais, I get a football player.
oh,
So a dais isn't the circle itself. It's actually like it's like a lectern or a podium or one of those kinds of things. Like it's a raised place where you would speak at someone, essentially.
Ooh.
So this is a dais that is in a circle, and it's like 2 or 3 inches above the regular ground surface. So it's not like crazy. It's in a circle, and the stone bricks themselves, they're fairly large slabs of stone. And some of them, again, as Nephis has seen in the circle, have symbols, and they've been, from your investigation, you notice that while there are people who've been walking on the dais, specifically those symbols have been like purposefully stepped on.
Oh.
copy that.
So if I was to, I wonder if this flips. Oh, that's cool.
Just color it.
That's what I'm doing. The color tint changes nothing for this. That's okay. Well, I wanted to use it as an easy circle for visual representation, but if you can imagine a circle made of stone, then you have imagined a dais.
Copy that. So for my 22, I would just see like all these tracks from the road just leading towards the dais, and they all just end there. Or do they go past the dais towards a direction?
No, they're all focused towards the dais, and there are some tracks that lead out and lead back, and like there's other tracks around the place, but most of the traffic is focused towards this stone platform.
Copy.
Oh.
Sorry, if I didn't like preface it, Nephis is merely looking for tracks, not really too intrigued with the symbolage.
Yes,
Yeah.
I understand that. It's just because of your 20, because of how well you rolled, you're aware that through the tracking that most of the traffic not only is led onto the dais, but specifically like these 3 high traffic points.
Gotcha. Nephis remains crouched, just examining the tracks.
Awesome. All right. Well, the floor is yours, guys. And
All right. What would I need to roll to investigate the dais?
investigation.
Outstanding.
I cast guidance on him before he does.
Oh, what does that mean?
You get a D4 extra.
Wow.
18. Wait, no, so it's just the base value. 18 plus 5, so 23.
You see everything that Nephis has found just through a different means of investigation.
Oh.
So does Isaac like just randomly cast a spell on Carlos as he like walks forward? That's weird.
I guess he saw me like looking at the dais or something. And he's just like, guidance.
So the symbols.
I don't know.
like, aren't
Isaac's a
any-
strange dude.
So the symbols like aren't the symbols aren't like anything special.
Well, they're the symbols for the.
I
different
saw
gods.
him go over to investigate, and I'm like, well, he can use some divine assistance. Here you
So
go.
I'll re-explain for the sake of Carlos. Are you going to share this information?
Yeah, I will share this
Okay,
information. I'm
so
all about
what-
sharing.
What the dais looks like is it's obviously like a stone circle, and some of the slabs, specifically 3 of them, are the high traffic points I was talking about, and they have inscribed in the surface symbols of the three deities that form up, or the 3 deities that form up the
Oh, okay.
leadership of the
I
triad.
wasn't here for that.
So-
Sorry.
Yep, that's fine. So just again as a repeat. So Tyr, Ilmater, Torm. And there's a 4th symbol, Bahamut, but Bahamut from Carlos and Nephis. When you guys did your investigation, Bahamut was untouched, but the other 3 had been like heavily trodden upon, heavily walked on.
Okay. Perhaps it's some kind of secret door or something. Maybe we have to press these symbols in order to open it.
It looks like a fantastic place to play some music.
Why don't you play us a tune, Vin, while we take a look?
Well, there are no travelers passing by.
I see. Can't even play music for your compatriots.
That's not what I was meaning, Mr. Carlos.
Carlos chuckles at him and he presses presses a foot onto one of the symbols just to see what happens.
There's a little bit of give to it, and when you step down, you can feel the block give a little bit.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna push the symbol for Tyr first, like until it stops moving.
Okay,
Does anything happen?
not yet.
Okay. Then I'll do Ilmater.
Okay,
All right, and then I'll do Torn.
okay. The dais itself begins to rumble, and you
step
can
back.
feel the stones depressing as you step back. Just do a quick agility check for me, or an acrobatics check, I should say.
Whoa.
Sure.
A 7.
plus- Well, it's not just a 7. 17.
17. Oh wow. So it does start depressing quite quickly, but you are quite light on your toes and balanced enough that you're able to get off without tripping, falling, or going down with the stones. But they quickly descend into the mountainside, or into the depths of the mountain, and form a staircase.
Oh, how peculiar.
That goes down into the mountain.
Well, I suppose they would want it hidden, so I guess this makes sense.
Can we see the bottom?
If you lean over the edge, you can see down quite a ways, and you can't. After a certain point in time, it gets fairly dark within the staircase, but you can see like light from a passageway at some point in time farther down below. So you can see the bottom and you can see the top and a little bit of the middle, but it starts getting darker a little bit in between.
Wait, how deep is it?
We don't know.
Leaning over the edge, you can see that it's a good like 30. So I guess for Vinshenzo, you see the whole thing. Now that I remember, you have dark vision. So
I have
do 100.
360 feet of dark vision now.
Okay.
I can
what did
see
you
in the
do
night.
that gives you this guidance?
Twilight
and dark
Domain.
vision and
Twilight Domain Cleric.
Wait, how much dark vision does he have?
300 feet plus 60 from the goggles of night.
so you're level 6 fighter, level 1 rogue, and level
1 cleric.
1 Twilight Domain cleric.
What
Yes.
does goggles even do?
Well, they don't
add
anymore.
60 feet. They add 60 feet to existing night vision if you already have it.
Do they?
Yep.
That's insane.
And you're wearing your goggles of night right now?
No.
Okay, you
I
just
don't
have
think
them
you
on
would
your
need to.
forehead permanently, so you ever need to, you just flash them down over your head.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Cool.
Jesus.
Alright. Okay, so anybody with night vision that's greater than like 30 feet can see that this is a staircase that descends roughly 60 feet down into the mountain depths.
Is the central area like open, or is there something like?
It's all stair.
Okay. All right. So it's okay. Cool.
It's a fairly safe staircase. It just gets dark at a certain point, and then you can see light from like the exit of the staircase at the bottom. Because the sunlight just doesn't angle itself enough to light the entire staircase.
How wide are the stairs going down?
It's a well-designed staircase. It is not precarious or dangerous in any way.
I'm just wondering, like, because we have horses. I don't see any horses around here. I don't see any stables. So I'm wondering if there's like some kind of stables inside the mountain for horses, because how else would people get here?
Down a spiral staircase. Good luck.
Yeah, I know it
dude.
doesn't make much sense to me, but I mean, unless someone wants to stay up here, well, I guess the retainers would. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's my thought pattern.
It's a good thought pattern, but this seems to be a personnel-only staircase. It doesn't seem to be designed with horses in mind. Somebody who designs a staircase like this likely hadn't designed it for horses to travel down a spiral staircase.
Perhaps there's another
Yeah.
entrance somewhere, more dignified.
I don't know, this is the only one we've found so far. I'm gonna take a look. Is anyone gonna come with, or?
I throw my palm onto Carlos's chest, holding him back, and say, "What do you think the likelihood of behind this hidden door there could possibly be some sort of trap as well?"
Well, if there is a trap, we'd probably be the best ones to spot it, wouldn't we?
Yes. I just didn't want you to stumble forward and...
Well, I appreciate your concern, Vin, for my safety. I will be
Always.
cautious.
Okay.
If you're saying anything,
From the sled says, "Yes, Carlos, you best be careful. You won't have Anton to head dive in first, or dive in head first."
head dive in first.
Shut up.
That's hardly appropriate to say, given his condition.
It's my time to shine. No.
Isaac just charges forward. All right. Well, if no one else says anything, Carlos is gonna slowly make his way down the stairs.
All right.
Nephis stays by his cart.
I
or
try to
sled.
do a perception check for any traps. Just
Okay.
looking from the top. Oh yeah.
Same, but I'm gonna guidance myself.
+5. Oh, 7.
7 total?
7 total.
Okay.
Ooh, ouch. 10.
10. You guys don't see anything that looks to be a trap.
Well, since I told Vin, I was gonna be careful. I'm also gonna look for anything that could be dangerous.
He looks.
I looks with my
And
eyes.
he's in there now. He moved in.
21 for perception.
21. You can definitely tell that there is an indent in the wall, about maybe 5 or 6 feet down, that, if depressed, might do something.
There's an indent in the wall, so it's not like a hole. It's just like a stone or something.
It's
Flat stone that you can push.
Yeah, it appears to be like a flat stone.
Oh.
It's just, it catches your eye in a way that an expert's eye catches these kinds of things. And you know that likelihood is it can be pressed in similar to these stones and something might happen.
All right, so I'm gonna move up to it, and I'm gonna test a little bit to see how much give there is. Because I'm assuming that if it's a trap, it would be a pretty shitty trap to make it like on the wall away from the fucking stairs. So
Would be a kind of shitty trap.
That's what you think.
yeah,
Says the guy pressing the trap.
right.
Okay, so you're gonna go press the button.
Yeah, it only catches smart thieves, I guess, and perceptive thieves.
So you go and you press the button, and the staircase lights up. I don't mean like in a brilliant dramatic way. I mean like it is now illuminated, and you can see the entire staircase. It is now a little bit safer to cross down for those of you who don't have dark vision. That little middle area.
Oh, magic.
And
I blink a couple of times from the light and look back up. Oh, it's seeming like it's safe so far.
And this is
the light isn't like magical. I will say the light is emitting from specific sources that are inside, like they're inset into the wall. And when you get close enough to see, you can see that they're little like carvings and scratchings to create like the light spell.
So it is magic.
Yeah, sorry, when I say magic, I mean like it's not seemingly coming from out of nothing. It's not like it didn't
Oh, that's
just...
the origin of the light, of the magic
the
light.
origin of the light source has some sort of a logical outlet.
My eyes.
Turn the light back off for Vin now. Just kidding.
Okay,
I can
so Carlos pressed one of the symbols and this happened?
No, so I'll go with you from start to finish. Carlos pressed a bunch of symbols and he made the staircase, and then he walked about 5 feet down the staircase and pressed at a wall. Basically,
Okay.
he pressed a light switch and turned on the lights.
I'm sorry, I've been kind of distracted.
No, it's okay. I don't mind. If you didn't get something, I'm happy to repeat it.
All right, I'm gonna continue down.
I stay at the top peering in at Carlos.
All right, so how far do you continue down, Carlos?
Until I encounter something else that catches my eye.
Okay. Given that sort of vague qualifier, you make it to the bottom of the staircase.
Standing. Is there like a hallway or anything?
Yes, there's a hallway, and that is where the light. So remember, initially when you hadn't turned on the lights, there was a little bit of like a darker area in the middle, just because there was nothing illuminating it, and then there was a light source at the bottom. This is a hallway.
Is this the only way to go?
Yeah, it's the only way to go, but it's not a very long hallway either. Like you get down there, and you can tell it's about 5 or 10 feet. I won't say 5 or 10. It is 10 feet, and then it enters into a larger space. You cannot see that larger space because it is like the hallway is 10 feet, and then you turn to the right, and it opens into a larger space. The reason you know it's a larger space is because you can clearly hear the echoing, banging, and general sounds of industry that come with some sort of a manufactory, forge, smith, or other sort of productive workplace.
All right. Yeah, I move down the hallway and I peek around the corner.
Someone should go
Okay.
with Mr. Carlos.
Yeah, you guys are free to come down the stairs or not. You just let me know if you're coming.
I wait at the top peering down, and as Carlos enters like the next hallway, I talk to the others and say that someone should accompany him.
I accompany
You
him.
can move your little PC poos either into the middle of the circle if you want to go right down or on the edge. That way I can just easy visual reference. But for Carlos and everybody who catches up with them eventually, when you peer down into, when you peer around the corner of this entranceway, you look out and then conversely down into the mountain, which has been, the inside of the mountain is quite heavily mined out. Excuse me. And you can see a number of platforms and elevator shafts and walkways, staircases, all these kinds of things. Immediately, sort of in the vicinity of this entranceway, there's a fairly wide, I guess like a promenade or something. It's a pretty wide walkway, and to call it a walkway is an understatement. It's a big open area where you can go and like, there's people there just kind of hanging out doing stuff. There's benches to sit in. There's a few people who have a desk that they're sitting at, sort of closer to the entranceway. They seem to be greeters or clerks or something like that. And it's a fairly open, nice place. It's well illuminated with torches. Yeah, it's a lot bigger and more open than it seemed at the very start.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
All
The
right,
people that you see, just for the sake of it, they are wearing robes that are similar to the robes that you'd seen at the monastery forever ago. So they're wearing, very obviously, they're aligned with the same people. You're in the right place for all intents and purposes. Or at least you seem to be in the right place for all intents and purposes, I guess I should say.
Copy that. All right. Carlos tells Isaac, who is probably caught up to him by now, tells him that he's going to go tell the others what they found. And Carlos heads up the stairs. And once I get to the top, I tell everyone what I saw about how the area downstairs seems to be like basically the mined out interior of the mountain, and it's calling it a cave doesn't do it justice because of how massive it is, and it's well lit, and the people inside appear to be wearing robes, religious robes like they saw at the monastery. So Carlos, at least, is pretty confident that this is the forge that they were supposed to go to.
Nephis nods. He states to Carlos, I'm I'm sorry.
Perfect.
I could fucking hear myself really well. I'll stay with Anton for the time being. Perhaps the first batch of you can go in and see about our arrival.
Sounds good. I'll also try to ask for some aid for Anton. Maybe they can do something. I mean, maybe they're holy magics or something. I don't know. Can lift this curse on him, make him better again.
I'll prepare him to move.
Copy.
He can move at will. Don't consider him to be a hindrance. He's just not, obviously, because Anton is now an NPC. I'm not actively going to involve him in the narrative, but he's going along with whatever. You don't think about him unless you specifically want to keep him out of the action.
I mean,
What's his in the case since he's exhausted and his movements like severely impeded?
Yeah.
Like
I'm just saying, like, he's not gonna.
As a gesture, that's what Nephis is doing.
Okay.
To assist him.
Perfect.
Because isn't he like exhaustion like 3 or 4 or something like that?
He's pretty far ahead.
Yeah. So yeah.
He's not in a good state for sure. I'm just saying, like, if you don't feel the need to go out of your way and babysit him, is more I'm trying to convey that.
Yeah.
He's been a part of our party. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Carlos heads back down, and yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to follow him, that's up to them, I guess. But he's going back down.
All right. Are you going right back down, like through the entryway into this promenade? We're gonna call it the promenade for all
Yeah.
intents and purposes. This upper area is the promenade.
Carlos is gonna actually step through this time and actually allow himself to be seen and kind of look around at everything, and he's gonna wait a few moments to see if anyone approaches him, like if there's like a greeter, like at Walmart or something.
So the Walmart greeters are actually the two people I was mentioning that were at a hanging out at a desk that was fairly close to the entranceway. When I say fairly close, I mean a good like 40 or 50 feet. Generally, when in terms of scale, things that are close together aren't actually all that realistically close together. While you are in the inside of a mountain, there's not a whole lot of stuff, so the distance between stuff has increased. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that being said, nobody walks towards you because even though they're right next to the door, in comparatively speaking, they're like a good 50 feet away. And there are two greeters. There's a human, female human, and a male elf, high elf, who are sitting at the desk, and they see you pop your head over the entranceway and step out into the light and all that, and they wave at you cheerfully and say, "Hello, come in. Greetings."
Okay. Yeah. I approach them and offer them greetings as well.
The male elf stands up, and he's got a number of different religious iconographies all over him, tattooed on his skin, inlaid into like the threads of his shirt, all that kind of stuff. He's quite decked out in religious iconography. And when he comes over, he asks which deity you follow.
Oh, hey, don't do that. Don't chew that. Don't chew that. Sorry. Dog's getting into my notebook.
Ate his homework.
Almost. Don't do that. I know you want attention.
Dog ate my
busy.
D&D notes.
All right, so well, I don't actually follow any of your deities. But we were sent from one of your monasteries in the east. What? Now, my character would probably remember. I don't. Was it this
Did we not
Chazé
get,
or
like,
something? What was the place?
Iltator.
No, not the fucking god. I'm talking about what the monastery name was.
Yeah, Shosei or whatever,
Shosei.
Monto, something. You came from down there.
I came from that
Did we get a
monastery.
thingy, like to present when we got
Did we?
here?
This is a year ago at minimum, like real people calendar time. So I don't remember exactly what you were given. I really don't. I'd have to go back and look through the streams.
Does anyone?
Vaguely recall we got like a letter of introduction or some crap.
It's not my fucking quest.
That would make sense. That would make sense that you got something. I don't remember what it is. I don't remember who
I'd
got
present
it.
the proof. I would present the proof to the greeter.
Okay.
And I'd also mention that I have several companions that are upstairs, and we also have horses that would need some place to go.
Oh yeah, they gave us some like seal of passage that was like, yeah, these guys are good, equip them with vampire tools or something along those lines. Like you have our assistance.
The registered letter that says that you're cool dudes. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
And dudettes. Well, you present this, and the guy. So the guy explains that he was actually just hoping to give you the proper blessing of like a safe arrival kind of thing. You know, he just didn't want to offer the wrong prayer to the wrong god. But instead, he just asks for your patience as he like mutters a general blessing of your safe arrival kind of thing. And if you allow him to do that, then he moves over to the table and he presents you with a map. which is like a map of the forge. And he indicates where you are, which is up at the promenade, and he tells you that this is the pilgrim's entrance. And then he shows you that, like, at the bottom of the mountain, a little bit, or like the lower down in the facility, I don't want to say the bottom of the mountain, lower down in the facility, there's like a different entrance that's meant for, it's got stables, it's got places to store all your horses and stuff like that. And he gives you directions to be able to get down to it. Basically, it was the reason that there's the two different entrances. One of them is essentially a logistical place. It's not meant for guests. This is the guest entrance. Like, you went to the right place, but there's somewhere else, because normally people don't show up here in the mountains with horses and sleds and stuff coming to the pilgrim's entrance.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so he tells you how to get there and exactly how to do it. It will take like another 2-3 hours of travel for the people who are up there, but the guy tells you, like, hey, if you want, we can take your stuff down for you. You know, if you trust us to do this, we'll take your stuff down for you. There's plenty of helping hands, and then you can focus on just resting and recuperating from your pilgrimage.
Oh, I'll definitely make the offer to them. Unfortunately, events have made them quite wary of those not in our group, but perhaps. Also, before I forget, I hate to forget this, one of our members, he seems to have been cursed by the mask of an old god, an old death god, I believe, and he's taken a bad turn. It seems that the god is displeased with him, and he just seems to be suffering from worsening states of exhaustion. No matter how much he sleeps, he just can't get any rest.
So the guy lets you know that the male elf lets you know that they do have healers here on the promenade who can tend to him right away, and if he's cursed, as you said, they'll take him to, like, the appropriate experts and everything, and they can definitely take care of your companion. Isaac, you're heading down there too?
No, I'm just kind of waiting at the bottom of the stairs. Still.
Yeah, he
At
said
the bottom,
he
okay.
said he went down with Carlos, so
Yeah,
I
he's
just
like
put
there.
him there.
Yeah, because okay. So Carlos is in the promenade, and you're just waiting at the bottom of the stairs politely.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Alright.
The guy says that if you guys are exhausted from your journey, they can come up and, like, provide you fresh food and refreshments up at the dais where everyone's waiting. If you guys are tired, like, they're offering you a lot of hospitality, but they're also he understands that the wariness of the journey can cause people to be on edge, and he's not gonna push for more than you and your companions are willing to accept.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we do appreciate the hospitality. I think we'll at least accept the food and water. It's been a while since we've had anything other than wild game and rations, dried fish and whatnot. But then from there, I guess we'll see if they want you guys to take their horses. I'm going to head back up there and let them know what's going on.
Well, the both the elf and the female priests tell you that they'll be here if you need anything, and they'll be, like, organizing a reception or a welcome group, whatever that is. You know, they'll get everything ready, but they'll be here if you have any questions.
Okay, so then the reception thing will be up in like 10 minutes or something, probably.
They don't give you a time frame. They just said we'll be up as soon as you can.
Outstanding. All right, I go back. I leave, and I go back to Isaac, and I tell him to follow me because I don't want to explain everything twice. So then I go upstairs.
Isaac doesn't want to walk up the stairs twice.
Well, then he can stay down there. I don't care. Damn. All right. So yeah, I tell everyone basically what they said, that they're willing to. They're gonna be bringing up food and water, and they're willing to bring our horses down to the actual logistics entrance because it is about 2 or 3 hours to do. But they also gave me directions, and then I can give those directions to anyone that doesn't want them to take their horses. Also, they're going to be taking Anton and trying to help him.
Oh, god damn. Nephis says, no one's going to be taking the sled. I'll go to the logistics center. Is this just the same place? Is it a 2-hour trip to wherever you go underground?
Yeah, it's just a different entrance that's further down the mountain, meant for logistics to enter through. But it all goes to the same spot, which is a massive empty mountain. It's ridiculous. But yeah, let me give you the directions.
Why don't we just stay here and just set up camp? It's
Well,
not
I
really
guess
sight.
I guess you can ask them that when they arrive, but yeah. Everything's inside.
It would be a weight off our shoulders to have our horses stabled for us and whatnot.
I know we're all on edge from our experiences as of late, but these are the same people, more or less, that rescued us from the arena. I don't think we need to have that much caution around them.
Yes,
A fair amount, perhaps, but not so much that we don't even take them up on lodging.
They can stable my horse, and we'll see about anything else.
I'm not worried about lodging. I'm worried about how long we're going to stay here.
Long enough to get our equipment, I guess. Then from there.
Have you talked to any of the smiths to see how long procurement would be? What we have access to?
No, the place is quite large. It was about 50 feet just to talk to someone from the entrance, so all the smiths and stuff were quite a ways away. I didn't want to spend that long trying to find them. I probably wouldn't have returned for another hour. But they, like I said, there will be a reception up here shortly with fresh food and water, and I'm sure they have answers to the questions.
Understood. I will take my sled to the entrance, but I'm sure we'll be here a long time, like the rest of our destinations. And Nephis continues sticking next to his sled.
So it will take. It's essentially 15 minutes that it will take the reception, the quote unquote reception people to get up to the top with the stuff that they need. I was just trying to think of a reasonable amount of time that gives you guys a chance to chat and stuff, but not so long that it's an unnecessarily long wait. Still within the realm of realism for people trying to get up to the top of a mountain, though. Anyways, so yeah, if you have any planning you can do when you figure it out now, but if not, then I'll just have the reception arrive. I just didn't want to give you guys no chance to
stable my horse and my dog.
And your dog.
You have a dog too.
Stable my dog.
It's a big dog, ain't it?
Yeah.
A mastiff?
Yeah, he's got a big fighting mastiff.
Big enough
Does he got
for a halfling to ride.
Does he got like a barrel on his collar
No.
full of beer?
Ooh. Okay. I see Xane typing something, so I'm just gonna wait to.
Oh.
Khutula.
What's Xane gonna say?
What's Xane gonna say?
Sorry, I was chewing. Khutula would probably stick with the sled because all her shit's on there, and she's gonna offer her assistance with setting up camp if they choose to stay.
That's
in that
totally
spot.
cool. All right, so I haven't been given any reason to not just skip ahead to the reception people. So eventually these guys do show up. It's not a very long wait. And when they get up there, there's, for anybody interested in leaning down and looking down the staircase, because you can hear them ascend, because just the way physics and sound works, so you can hear them coming up the stairs. For anybody willing to look down or anybody interested in looking down and seeing, there's about 20 people, but only 5 of them actually come up. And of those 5, only one of them steps forward to address the group, and the rest of them keep they're basically right next to the edge of the staircase, trying to stay out of your way. And the person who comes up addresses the group, and he says, he offers you blessings and hopes your journey, your pilgrimage was safe. And he says, we offered to bring up some food and drink, fresh food and drink for you from your travels. And your companion had allowed us to do so. We have some people who have the food. They're waiting down below. We understand you've had a large journey. If you're willing to, they'll come up and provide for you, and also give some feed to your horses and fresh water. If you don't want that many people up, it'll just be the 5 of us. It'll take a little bit longer. We can carry your stuff down. They're pretty much offering extra help and refreshment and all that. They're like, hey, we're here. How much do you want?
All of it.
Yeah, Carlos doesn't have any problems with them being hospitable.
God
Yeah, but this
helps
is-
those who help
this is like-
themselves.
They're asking each of the people too. They're not, how do I say this? These guys are experienced in the realm of hospitality, and they know people who've traveled quite far, or sometimes not very far at all. So they're not interested in making, while they're interested in speaking with the group, they're also not interested in making any individuals uncomfortable. So if any of the characters are not cool with being around these guys, that's totally fine. They're not going, but they're giving you that option to say, hey, we just leave me alone, kind of thing.
Nephis would grin and say he would accept the food, but he will take his own sled to the entrance. Thanks, but no thanks.
Big thumbs up. Vinshenzo wants all of his stuff. He wants to be taken care of. So Vinshenzo, I think, has a horse, and I think I couldn't remember if he had something else. He just has the horse and the prisoner. What are you guys going to do about this prisoner? How are you going to bring up the fact that you have a prisoner? Or I'm going to leave that to you to bring up.
That's Vin's thing.
Anyway.
Carlos has nothing to do with that.
All right, cool. Seeing as no people have objected to the amount of personnel, aside from Isaac, who's just kind of keeping his distance. So food comes up.
I return, and since the food and stuff is here,
Okay.
I don't really have a problem with hospitality.
Deadly. All right. Well, you
More the
guys are all
merrier.
hospitalitied, and you get fresh food, meat off the bone. There's ale, but it's anybody who tries it, it's watered down. It's more for there's enough flavor, but nothing to get you intoxicated. It's just flavored drink. There's fresh water. There's bread, all those kinds of things. Green vegetables. It's a good fresh meal. It's not a feast, but it's enough to satisfy your hunger, make you feel a little bit more refreshed. The people who, specifically Nephis, they're not going to touch your sled or your horse. They will offer to feed and water your horse if you allow, and if you don't, they'll just give you food and water for your horse. And then they start taking away all of the extra stuff in terms of Vin's horse and his dog after it's been accepted that they're going to move it down. And any of the other, they take the steeds of the retainers, because there's 2 horses from the retainers, and Anton, I think, has his own horse too.
And then we have the horse I was riding, which is just one of the draft horses.
Okay. Do you want that taken away for you?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So everybody's stuff except for Nephis's sled is going to be taken down by the volunteers. And the volunteers are willing to lead you. Sorry, Nephis. They're willing to travel you down there too.
Well, I don't think they really got a choice. He was going to follow them anyways. he accepts the food and water, and he feeds his horse himself. But yeah, he would follow behind all of Vin's stuff.
Cool. So it's going to take you and the volunteers about, I'm going to say 3 hours, just for a round number, because I said 2, 2, 3. So it'll take 3 hours, and that includes getting all of your shit put away, like not just getting to the door. It'll take 3 hours, and everything will be done for you, as in your process.
Oh, sucks.
Getting down the mountain, getting in, getting your horse put in, making sure that all of your stuff is securely put away, however secure Nephis wants that to be, and then for him to have no other requirements of him for putting his stuff safely in their place. Are you going to ask about making a camp at the top of the mountain or no?
No, he would do it at the base, at the entrance, where they would be lodging the horses.
Okay. So the answer you will be getting, just so that I can get it out of my mind now, so you will be allowed to make camp up there. The only request that will be made of you, and you will be shown how if you choose to do this, the only request is to close up the dais if you're not traveling up and down it, just to keep like the weather out.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't touch it. That was Carlos. I point at Carlos.
Yeah. And it is revealed to you guys that it's not a secret entrance, it's just meant literally to keep out the weather.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, so everybody else who gets fed and all that stuff, eventually the volunteers with Nephis take the time to go and fuck off, and you're basically left by yourself with one guy, the initial guy who had sort of brokered the initial contact between both parties.
Oh, did they take Anton, since I mentioned that before? Help him.
I'm focusing on the stuff right now because I didn't want to just whisk him away without any
Fanfare.
I don't want to say no fanfare, but I didn't just want to disappear him like that.
He's on the sled. I have him.
There you go.
My inventory.
I'm happy for that. I'm happy to make that the way it goes if that's what you guys want. If you just want to take him down in the sled and then not worry about him, he'll be taken care of. Okay, I don't hear any for or against,
Whatever
so
is the quickest to save him.
it'd be letting him come down. It'll be bringing him down the stairs. The quickest way to get him to medical help or whatever help is to let him just go in with you guys.
All right. Copy that.
Okay, so at this point in time, Nephis, you split off and you're going to do your thing. The rest of the party is at the top. This guy is not urging you inside or anything. He's just kind of politely waiting for you guys to be ready to come in.
All right. Well, if everyone's ready, yeah, we're gonna head downstairs.
Okay.
It is Khutula coming this way, or did she go with Nephis?
He's sticking with the sled.
She's sticking with
Okay.
the sled.
So Khutula and Nephis are going down with the sled. All right. So Khutula, then you've fucked off too. We'll see you in 3 hours.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Hopefully not 3 IRL hours because I'll have done a poor job if that's the way it is. So the rest of you are, when you're ready, you're brought down. You're escorted down to the promenade. The Carlos and Vin and Isaac are asked if they could just stay behind at the desk to sort of provide a little bit of information. And then there are 2 individuals wearing red habits or robes that take they take Anton away. They bring him, they just sort of walk him off the promenade to somewhere else, and you don't see him again.
Ever.
In not ever, but you don't see him again in the near future. The relevant future. You can go find him if you want, but he's not going to make his way back to you yet. because he's Wakaboing. So the rest of you who stay behind, though, you had presented your seal of pact of invitation proof thing guy stuff. So they just asked you a few questions about that. Basically looking for details, because your seal of super dude, while it explains some things, it doesn't explain everything, and they just want to make sure they get you the right stuff and see how long you're looking to stay and all those kinds of details out of you. They're just trying to get down to the quick and dirty.
Okay. Well, what do they want to know?
How long are you going to be staying? What exactly specifically do you need? What is the threat that you expect to be encountering? All these kind of stuff.
So probably only be staying as long as is necessary to get whatever equipment we need, and that equipment is whatever equipment we would need to fight vampires and their ilk. Because it is the vampire threat on Nissia, in which we are questing to fight. And I'm sure Vin will... if Vin was here, he'd probably, say something about not wanting to do that, but he's not here, so...
Yeah, he probably has a lot that he would say, but we'll say that he's taking care of his prisoner.
Yeah, he can protest later.
He had to take care of the prisoner. The prisoner acted up, and Vin is back up top taking care of him or some shit like that, or he's behind figuring out the prisoner.
A child started crying in the movie theater and he had to take them outside.
Yeah. We'll let him be in the background. That means it's you and Isaac. Spotlight. Uncomfortably for Isaac.
All right. So I've given the information. How do they respond?
So you're looking to stay. Sorry. So you said that you're looking to stay just long enough for
to get whatever equipment or supplies we need to fight the vampires.
So is that like a day, 2 days? This is the guy asking. Like, you want to stay for a week? It's not going to take very long. This is not custom order that you're getting. How long do you need to stay here? How long would you like to stay here? Would you like to get some training, or would you like to see if there are any pilgrims that are, from the area? How long? It really is all on you. This is a fairly large forge. We can construct things fairly quickly.
I suppose we'd probably be saying just a few days, but I'd have to confer with the rest of my companions to know an accurate date, unfortunately, and some of them are traveling down the mountain right now.
Well, the guy informs you that usually what their standard practice is that they give you 14 days, so one moon's worth essentially. They give you 14 days of hospitality with no expectation of services or payment. After the 14 days, it is requested but not obligated for you to, instead of payment by coin, they prefer payment by service. So if you could, after 14 days, provide a service to them, just kind of help out with the collective. That way it helps them sort of cut down on long-term cost for hosting you.
Understandable. I do not believe we'd be staying that long, but if we do, I'll make sure that it's
all of these. I don't want to call them conditions, but these are all basically given to you as friendly requests, kind of thing. Like, hey, this is what we have. This is what we'd appreciate. So,
look, if they need manual labor while we're here and I'm not doing anything else, I don't have a problem with it helping.
They appreciate that. Well, the guy specifically appreciates that. So you guys get a map already. You already had a map, Carlos, that you were shown, but you get a different one, and this different one is less architectural and more of a service-based map. So it shows you the different places to go for different things. Like, this is where you go for acquiring. These are the food areas. These are the armories. This is everything. The guy explains to you that the forge operates essentially in two distinct districts. There's the dwarven area, because the forge is actually doubles as a small stronghold for the dwarves. So there is a city underneath. There is some semblance of a running settlement, and that is one part. That's in the lower mountain, and then the upper part of this mountain sort of complex is more where the religious order has precedence. And there is the separation between the two has more to do with the functions in the complex itself. So things that are more geared towards the dwarves and their work and their way of life, that's a little bit lower down. And then the religious order and its operations are focused higher up. But there's no distinction in terms of authority, really. It's a communal area. It's a communal complex. So the reason I present this is with this map and with this view, you guys will be able to, and they give you enough copies. They know how many guys in your. Once you're all back together, Nephis and Khutula, you'll get your own copies down at the hangar and all that stuff. But now you have easy way to navigate through the mountain. It'll be simpler for you to find what you need.
Outstanding. How long will it take for us to get down to where Nephis and Khutula would enter from?
There's elevators and stuff, so it'll take you pretty quick. To get from the very top, which is essentially where you are now, to down where the hangar facilities are, where the entrance is that they're coming in, it'll take you maybe like 10 minutes. 20 if you're slow, and if you're unlucky with the elevators.
All right. Well, in that case, Carlos is gonna explore the complex until probably about 30 minutes before Nephis and Khutula would arrive, and then head down there and wait.
Yeah, for sure. Isaac, is there anything you'd like to do?
Not especially.
Okay. So we're gonna fast forward 2.5 hours effectively. Are you just using the 30-minute mark so you can get down to the bottom of the mountain in time to meet Nephis and Khutula?
Yeah.
Isaac, are you willing to go along?
Actually, I think I'm gonna assist people if there's any labor stuff they need done.
Okay. Cool. So what's your skill set? Non-military? Or do you have anything specific you'd like to help out with, just so I can...
Strong.
I am strong as fuck. I'm a proficient woodcarver.
Okay. So if you were to say, hey, I have free time, I'd like to help out, what thing, would you like to... Do you want to help out with anything specific, or would you just like me to say you're helping?
I mean, probably help carrying supplies or stuff like that.
Cool. All right. So you're going to, just for the sake of familiarization with a certain area, so we'll just say that you're in the warehouse logistics area down there too. So you'll know people, you'll know things. Okay. Seeker, just to let you know what has happened so far, Khutula and Nephis went down the mountain with all of the volunteers. Your horse, your dog, everything except for your prisoner has been escorted down the mountain for you by volunteers. You have your prisoner. Carlos and Isaac were given the 411 and everything that's going on and everything that's around. We said that you were dealing with your prisoner, so I'm gonna keep you as dealing with your prisoner until such a time as you're ready and willing to jump in.
Okay. I can kind of jump in for I don't know how long.
You give her. We'll give her to you while you got it. Just because next I'm gonna have everybody except for you down in the hangar anyway.
Okay. I don't know anything about the fucking area, but I guess I would lead the prisoner down through the entrance.
Just to interrupt you, you do have access to a services map, and then you have been given the ability to review a full map of the complexes. So for the sake of your character, I know you don't, but for the sake of your character, you do have an idea of the layout of this complex and where different services are.
Okay. I guess I would lead my prisoner through the entrance, secret entrance area.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Is there
issues.
anything specifically you'd like to do with this? Sorry, let me try this again. You're in the mountain right now. You guys are there. You're hanging out. You're at like the front desk, like the hotel lobby front desk. Guys told you when the continental breakfast is. You know where all the different hotel facilities are. They've asked how long you're willing to stay. You've been told that it's not going to take very long at all for your stuff to get ready, and they're just trying to look for like specifics of what you need for a clarification. It's like, hey, we need some rapiers. That's kind of what they're looking for. The nitty gritty. We'll go to that later. But yeah, so you've been given this. You have your prisoner, or maybe you don't. You have the option to tell me how you're going to handle him. That's kind of where I'm at with you right now. But for the party has gone to the hotel lobby and checked in for the sake of a really shitty reference.
I guess I would just lead him through, and unless I was stopped, I would just continue on.
Yeah, I mean, you're being looked at funny, and you will be stopped by like a guard.
The entrance people didn't like have anything to say.
The entrance people are effectively like your non-combative, completely accepting, 100% de-escalation people. They're making sure that whoever comes through the entrance, the first thing that they do is feel safe and not threatened. So the last thing that they're going to do is question you about a prisoner, because that immediately starts to bring you into that kind of like, you know, it's an area for potentially combative things. So they're not talking to you about anything that they think that you might be uncomfortable telling them about. However, the guard, after you walk past them and they're like, okay, cool stuff, you know, hey, we're here to ask any questions. And after you start walking past, like, there's going to be a guard who questions you as to why you have this guy in shackles. He's not going to ask you that in a way that implies that you're doing something wrong, but he's asking that to make sure everything's okay. Like, hey, why is this guy in this situation? He just wants to know.
He was one of the aggressors that attacked my traveling party here. I'm sorry, I'm so fucking like distracted and also mad.
If you want to skip, we can skip you if you feel like you're gonna be better later. I just wanted to give you this opportunity now.
I'll be better later, but I'll just be listening for now, because I don't know. This guy's like now taking a phone call in my driveway, so I'm just like waiting for him to like.
That's fine. Okay. Well, out. That's kind of, it also gives you a chance maybe to figure out what you want to do. But that's where we're at with you. So there's no other burden on you. You have a prisoner. You can do whatever you want, but that's kind of where we're leaving Vinshenzo at.
Sure.
Is
I'm sorry.
He's got to figure out something to do. No, it's okay.
Now.
That's great. So in that case, we're going to skip ahead 2.5 hours. Carlos, you are reunited with Vinshenzo and Khutula. Sorry, not Vinshenzo. Nephis and Khutula when they eventually make their way in. So the hangar area, and I'm going to call it that because fuck you, because the logistical entrance sounds too cool for Dungeons and Dragons. So the hangar area, it really is that. It's a cave. It was a cave entrance, and it's been sort of hollowed out and improved upon. It's not at the very bottom of the mountain. It's midway up, but it kind of looks like it because it leads into a valley. Where there's some farm fields and a few tiny things. As you get in there, it's definitely it's huge, but it's the most realistic, not realistic, but that's the most familiar thing you have seen, because there's a lot of wood structures, substructures, warehouse areas, stable panels. They all look the same as in every other city. You know, they actually look like buildings here with roofs and everything. The only difference is that they're not under the open sky. They're inside a mountain. Anyways, you get in there. Nephis and Khutula, you're given a similar sort of greeting by some of the staff there, just making sure they know how long that you think you're going to be staying, what your purpose is. if you need any assistance, and then pointing out different facilities and such. And about the same time as the guys having that conversation with you is when Carlos, you make it there and find them. So you guys have all received the same amount of information, and you've just met each other in the hangar.
Oh my god, everyone's here.
Alright, do they need to reply to the greeters at all, or can we just get on to business?
Well, I mean, it's up to you to either give them the same information or give them different. The point is that, like, as this guy is giving his spiel, you've showed up, so...
Yeah, I can, once he's finished talking, I can jump in and basically tell him what I told the other guys so that our stories are all the same. We're here to fight, we need, supplies to fight vampires, and we'll probably only be here for, like, a few days or so, and so, yeah, we'll need, like, that kind of stuff. Silver.
Big thumbs up from him, and he's going to direct you to, like, the appropriate person to speak to who's in like the forge part of the forge itself, kind of thing. He gives you the details, you know where to go, you know who to talk to, and you're told the time frame, which is basically not like during working hours, go talk to this guy.
Is it not during working hours right now?
It is during working hours right now.
Oh, okay, good.
But they're not. Anyways, the point is that you're being given this and then expected to sort of figure yourself out. Is the big sort of thing here. Is you just have to ask, but it's up to you.
I can do that.
Ask, kind of thing.
Shit. All right. Well, Carlos says that he is going to head to the forge if anyone else wants to join him and see about getting some weapons they can use to actually kill vampires instead of just inconveniencing them.
Khutula will follow for fun.
For fun. For funsies. Maybe you get a silver dagger.
In his coin purse, especially.
In his coin purse, especially. All right.
Baby, it's time to spend some money.
Aren't they providing most of this stuff for free?
Your lodging and your room and board and all that, like you don't have to spend anything for a bed, food, or water.
It's a goddamn forge. They forge shit.
Yeah, weren't they gonna supply stuff for the vampire fight? I'm confused now.
They are. I'm not saying it. I'm not sorry. I'm talking about like general, like, on top of what that you're getting.
Okay.
They're providing.
Hell yeah.
And on top of what we're already getting, we got coin purses to get even more stuff.
Hell
yeah, that part's up to you.
All right.
Especially.
I travel. With Khutula probably, and I guess Nephis, and maybe Isaac.
I'm walking.
Yeah.
And Vin maybe, I don't know. You can get a silver loot.
Okay. Not that one. Give me a second here.
Nephis turns to Khutula and starts babbling about how things that he's thinking about possibly getting at the forge.
Babbling.
I don't know. I'm not.
Are you gonna give me another list?
I don't have exacts on what they could possibly offer, but I was thinking about speaking with the smith personally.
I'm not sure what they can do for me either, but wouldn't hurt to check.
You saw the circle, that entrance. They probably have some sort of magical items they can forge for us. He says with a smirk.
Yeah, circles are good at that.
Very unnatural.
Jesus. There we go. So you're aware that so the contact that you've been given is the Master Armsman, and his name is Haldrick Whitesmane. his name doesn't matter for note-taking purposes. I hope not, but yeah, he's the guy who you've been told to speak to about the weapons for your quest.
Copy that. I see.
You've also been told to like nobody has taken your promise of payment or whatever the hell it is, like your token. So you're told that like he's the person that you should actually present the token to for him to keep. It's his thing.
It's his proof.
Yeah.
Purchase. It's like a box top.
Yes. It's your stipend.
Stipe.
I assume that's who you're gonna go and see.
Yes.
Isaac, at this point in time, just as a reminder, you're still in the warehouse. However, you would have seen these guys fuck off at this point. So it's up to you whether or not you want to join them. But if you don't, we're just gonna say you were working the whole time.
But I remembered I had a question. Do these guys, or at least if I talk to one of the greeters, do they have someone who can emblazon a holy symbol, and specifically one of those three gods? Does that matter?
Which god do you follow?
The goddess of home, hearth, and community.
Oh.
Even though it does have three like big daddy deities, which is the big three, like they're the head of this holy order, those deities and whatever their followers are. But there are other minor and similar gods and goddesses that provide not only like their followers, but given the nature of them, they provide other services too. For instance, the goddess of home, hearth, and whatever, probably the worshippers of that religion are going to be the people who are helping like feed, clothe, and bed you, provide a safe living space.
Is that a yes?
Yeah. They'll tell you where to go and they'll tell you how to get it done.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Then I'm gonna head off to the forge and follow the dudes.
Follow the
Okay.
dudes.
So you're all there together. So you come and meet Master Armsman Whitesmane, Haldrick Whitesmane. And he's in his office, and the place where you find him is in the armory itself, which is adjacent to the forge, but is not actually in the forge room, the literal one. So he's hanging out in his armory, and you get past. There's a lot more armed presence in this area. There's a lot more guys with weapons on their hips, and there's a lot more guys checking out and donning their war gear. It's a lot more business as usual here. The arms master, as you walk into the office, looks at you. He seems quite distracted and busy, and when he greets you, it's quite not even words, just with a gruff. He is a dwarf. I will point that out just in case I hadn't said that.
You had not. All right. Yeah, I present.
Short person.
I
He's got a
present
big fucking beard though.
I present the document to him.
Cool. He grabs it out of your hand quite aggressively, scans it over as he's sort of paying attention to another piece of paper, and then he finishes reading it, and then he slows down and scans it a second time, and then looks at you and the group, and then he reads the document again. He said, where's this from?
I identify the monastery to the east.
Yeah. And how long ago did you get this?
I start counting on my fingers. How long has it been? Like 2 months?
It's been a while. There's something amiss. Dwarf.
I'm just I don't know how far off the trail you've been. Have you heard of what's happened in Nicaea since you've left?
No, we've been dealing with our own hardships, unfortunately.
Well, I'm sure this might impact your quest, but just so you know, the Isle of Nicaea, the vampires took it over completely. It's their own kingdom now, their own territory. They rule openly, but just to say, it's nothing's lost. No, nobody's leaving them alone. There will be a counter strike. But just so you're aware, it has escalated since then. If your quest is to take on the vampires themselves, then we really need you. So what can I do?
Well, we need weapons that we can actually use to harm them. Every time we've gotten into a scuffle with vampires before, if we weren't able to overwhelm them with a truly ridiculous number of attacks, then they would just heal from our attempts. I believe Khutula found that silvered weapons and, of course, holy water would benefit against them.
Wooden stakes too, or if you can somehow manufacture sunlight. These are all really good techniques. The dwarf stands. He like thumps his left leg up onto the desktop, and he pulls up sort of the cuff of his pants to about his midway up his calf, and you can see that his left leg is mechanical. It is a combination of steel plates and gears and cogs and such, but it is made to mimic the shape of a normal leg. And he slaps his thigh and he says, "Got this one fighting a vampire. They're not fun. I know what you mean, but don't worry. We'll give you the right stuff." Any of you favor the bow or crossbows?
Yeah, I use a light crossbow from time to time.
All right. Well, he reaches behind him into a cage, and he pulls out a bundle that's fit inside of a quiver. The quiver itself doesn't have a strap. It's very obviously like some leftover junk that he's using as a storage device. But he tosses it to you sort of lightly, and as you when you inspect it, you see there are 3 arrows. Each of these arrows has a strange glass tip with something. The glass itself is opaque. You can't see inside, but you can definitely tell there's a little bit more weight to it than a normal arrowhead. Before you get a chance to ask, he tells you these are arrows that we haven't made in a while, and most of our remaining stock has gone to other groups who are also working on this vampire problem. But these will create a small sun for some time, and if you use these, it will mimic the sunlight itself, and it can do pretty serious harm to vampires. It's not the only thing, but it's just an extra tool for you to use. I got more stuff out in the back.
Carlos kind of holds the bundle at arm's length and just kind of like looks at them like, wow, they can do all that, and kind of carefully puts them into his pack so he can distribute them later. But yeah.
These are
nice.
Can smith magical items, and Nephis nudges Khutula.
The arms master looks at you and he says, "Oh, no, not me. I can't smith these magical items. Some of this is imported from another forge, but we can do a lot with magical items. You'd have to go talk to the other guys. I don't know much about it. I handle the products. I tell them what to make, and then I dish out the goods to where it needs to go. You have a specific request, though. I'm sure that there's enough smiths in the forge that they can get something done."
Oh. I'm not sure about him for magic items, but I would like to get my rapier silvered if that's something you could do.
That's talk to one of the smiths. They do it all the time. It's pretty routine. They'll probably fit it into a batch of something that they're silvering.
Fair enough.
So whatever we need, we just talk to one of the smiths and they'll put together something.
Well, if it's a custom order, if you need things that we already have made, that's where I come in. But if you're looking for like a custom piece or you want an alteration to something that you own, that's when you'd have to talk to the smiths. But
Aye.
you know, if you're looking for silvered weapons, I have a stockpile of them. I have shelves full of long swords, and I have shields and bows and spears. And I mean, you can't take arms full of it, but if you need something, we can give it to you. But that's the why you talk to me first, because I know what we have. I don't make it, but I know what we have.
Well, if you want to take down a list, I'm sure we all have at least one thing we'd need from you. Whenever you're ready.
Oh no. If it's a list, I'll get one of my subordinates to do that. But
Oh,
do you have any big ticket items or anything important that you need like right now, or anything I can get to work on? If it's mundane, I'm just gonna delegate it. But if there's something I can do right now,
Not for me, I don't think. It's just rapier to silver the rapier, maybe get some silver daggers, some stakes, some silver bolts, and a buckler, and that's me pretty much.
Point us in the direction of the smiths.
well, he points out he points out the essentially a grilled window into the forge room itself. And then he also shouts in Dwarvish, and if anybody understands Dwarvish, he just says, "Hey, come here," and then he utters a name. And another dwarf comes running in pretty much immediately.
Hey, I understood that.
Yeah, he said, "Get over here," but not very nicely. And this other dwarf comes running in. And the dwarf says, "Give him the list." Or sorry, the master armsman tells you, "Give him the list, and he'll also take you to the master smiths. They'll sort out your custom orders. But you," and he points at Carlos, I got a buckler in back. I can give it to you. I'll show you where it is."
Carlos
And then he looks around, pointing at each of the other party members in turn, and pauses for a second to give them an opportunity if they need to ask for something before he goes and does anything else.
Damn, would I do that again?
Nephis immediately walks to the guy that came in and just waits for him to lead him to the smith.
Okay. How intensely are you doing this?
He just stands next to him.
Oh, okay. All right. Don't bother writing it on a note card, Kardoc. Jesus Christ, don't do that.
Ish.
Don't do that to me. Don't make me rely on a note card in Tabletop Simulator.
If you want us to write actual lists, we can.
If you have things that you'd like to request that aren't like custom super sexy sword 5000, yeah, DM them to me on Discord. I'm talking about like if you're looking for bags of standard shit. Imagine this to be a massive industrial scale foundry. Like we're talking about classic fantasy dwarf manufacturing potential. So when they make swords, they make batches of like dozens of swords. When they make shields, they have like these guys are making orders to go out. They're feeding this holy order that is fighting off a whole bunch of shit. Like they're providing them arms and material and logistical supplies. That's how big these foundries are. That's how
But we ain't the standard soldier.
I know, but my point is they have so much shit in stock
that
and
master
of that
smith?
specialty. If you're looking for like a silvered longsword, they have 10. So if you provide me a list of that,
I mean,
get 'em.
like I wrote, if silvered arrows are a thing, I just want a whole bunch of that.
yeah. So silvered arrows, you can get those. So those kinds of things for sure. But if you're looking for like an overly specific, or you want to modify your stuff, that's why we're going to the smiths next.
Yeah.
And that way I can take those notes down, like specially. But yeah, if you have got a list, like you want 60 silvered arrows and a whole bunch of ball bearings and I don't fucking know, and angle joints. I don't know. Just give me that stuff in a list. Dear God.
I want to chop off my legs and be short like the dwarf. Have little robot legs.
Okay.
tiny dwarf robot legs.
Guy.
I want little robot legs that can shoot stakes.
Okay, Chill wants 100 silver arrows. Okay, so nobody wants anything else from the Master Armsman. You're gonna give the
Generic.
lists.
So
Doesn't
if
do
it's
generic. He's asking if
Mm.
yeah. Go. Sorry.
if it's just like generic stuff, like I want my weapon silvered, I want some silver weapons, I want some silver arrows, can we just assume that we get that stuff and just add it to our equipment?
Yeah, but if you have a custom request, like if Khutula has any specific magic items that need to be made, yeah, we can just skip all that. The smiths will alter your equipment within reason.
Okay. We're all typing our shopping lists. Hell yeah.
Woohoo. What do you want from me? Nephis approaches the master smith.
He wants to know what you want.
I want a magical item that can shield the mind from a magical charming. Is that possible?
You want a magical. You want a magical something to shield your mind from charms?
Guy.
Okay. Like a helmet? Or an anything?
And anything. I'm
An
not
anything.
very
Okay.
versed with the magic, but
So Nephis wants.
I went to the kitchen real quick, but if there are amulets or something that could protect us from being charmed, abso-fucking-lutely, I'd want that too.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
it's Nephis's idea. Fuck off.
Wow.
It was a good fucking idea.
He's been thinking about this the whole time, and there is an item similar to it, but Nephis wouldn't know. It's called a ring of mind shielding.
Devon, could you send me that?
Yes.
That way I can see it, because that would make it really easy for me to just. Okay, cool. I'm gonna write that down, and that'll be taken care of in a way I find out. Wondrous item of mind shielding. Okay, cool. Thank you.
He also starts babbling about how he wants his gear to be enhanced, and he wants a new sword, and that's pretty much about it. And which I can just send to you, but that was the main.
So new weapons. Anybody who wants a new weapon, they're not. The smith doesn't make you the new weapons. The arms master is giving you one of the thing that you want out of essentially like the armory. So if you're looking for a longsword or a silvered longsword, then he'll give you a silvered longsword. Like they just have them ready. If you're looking for your specific item to be silvered, this is like the smith will do it. You're asking him to do that, and he'll do that. Yes, but just so that you guys understand, if you want a new something, put it on your shopping list. If you wanted a new, I don't know, a new longsword that is silvered, like that's what the arms master does. If you want something made for you or something that you own altered, that's the smith. So for instance, this magic item to protect against charming, I know Nephis doesn't know, the smith will figure it out. That's what he can do. You want your gear enhanced? That's cool. Let's talk about how you want to do that. The smith is the guy who will have this dialogue. The reason I'm doing it this way is it gives me the opportunity to interact and get your ideas and try and fuck with them.
I hate to interject, but shouldn't we do this in IC both for the benefit so that Chris has it all in a fucking condensed list, and also
well, as I'd said,
not
the
take
lists I'm
time
hoping
away
are
from the session just doing shopping?
the lists I'm hoping are going to be, as I'd said earlier, I'd like them DM'd to me in Discord for that purpose so that I can worry about them later. The reason I'm doing this way is because if there's a big item or a big something or like a hey, I want the fucking moon, or it just gives me a chance for you to ask it right away and me to deal with it right away.
Okay. I'll ask mine later.
Okay. So if you guys have something that you just want to speed along, just send me that stuff in Discord, because it's just easier for me to be able to cross-reference it earlier or easier, because we do everything through Discord. So send me a DM of the shit that you want. If it's a magic item that you want crafted for you like Nephis did, tell me now. And I can give you yeses and nos in the guise of this Mastersmith. So Khutula, is there anything you want to ask from this guy?
I think Khutula needs to look into her studies and think about it for a bit.
That's fine. Okay, so from here, it's just you guys hanging out and waiting for any stuff that needs to be done, and then you can explore the mountain. Like there's after this, there's not really much that the forge needs of you.
After giving his request, Nephis would, if no one else has anything to do, would go looking for a water source nearby.
Okay.
But that is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Damn.
holy shit. Participation level right now is quite
I wonder why.
intense.
I'm thinking.
That's okay. I
I
don't really have anything
guess
for you guys at this point. It's all on you.
Since everyone's gonna do this anyway, I guess you could fill me in on what I missed.
Perfect. All right.
How do you edit this?
When did you, just for my backtracking, when did you bow out?
I really wasn't there for that long, because like maybe 5 minutes after I said I was gonna just be listening, the guy came in, so
That's fine.
I had
All
to
right. So
jump up and go greet him.
I'm just gonna run from the place that I remember you being at. So they went down to the hangar bay to see Nephis and Khutula. So everybody grouped up there. Both Nephis and Khutula got the same spiel as the guys upstairs. Which the guys upstairs told you essentially, as I said earlier, you have the layout. You've been told what you need to do, which is go talk to this arms master who we had just been speaking to. So the arms master is the guy who essentially is responsible for keeping track of who's getting what and dishing things out, because the forge itself supplies equipment for a lot of people. So it's an industrial scale manufactory, which is why they can do things like give out silvered weapons or silver things without having to care, because they literally just have a vat and it just goes on the rack and they'll just put it in the next cycle.
Okay.
So it's at a pretty big place, and because it has this large scale and variety of production, they're capable of just fulfilling a lot of needs. So you were sent to the arms master. The arms master said that he can, anything you guys need, he can pretty much provide. If you're looking to alter or request custom stuff, that's when you talk to the smiths. So people went and spoke to the smiths, and that's about it. Vinshenzo is dealing with his prisoner now, and I haven't really lent on him, but if you want to just tow him around, you can. Somebody is going to take some level of objection to the fact that you're just carrying or not carrying, but pushing around like a fucking prisoner.
I guess my question is okay, there's the forge here.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of people around? Is this like a settlement, or people coming here?
Yes. So the forge is working in tandem with a dwarven stronghold. So there is a settlement in the lower part of the mountain, which is where a lot of the dwarves live that are not part of the order. And there are guys who really put a lot. order. They occupy more of the upper part of the mountain. Now both work in tandem, like it's one big community inside the mountain, and in terms of like authority and running the mountain, like they work, it's all togetherness. So there is a lot of people. There are pilgrims that come around quite frequently. As far as you're able to, the time that you've spent here, you've seen a lot of people from around, and because of that, they do go to that pilgrim's entrance, which is where you guys are at. It is populated. It's not as populated as some cities are, or a lot of cities are. You know, there's not that level of population because you are in a fucking mountain. Growth is harder in a mountain. There's also a level of militarism and obviously like religiousness to this place that is different from most places.
Okay. Sorry, I'm far away, and I'm
It's okay.
vaping.
Ooh.
How far, or I guess who is stopping me to deal with the prisoner? Just like a town guard, I guess.
It's a triad guard, and this is at up in the promenade. So as you're starting out, like you're immediately being.
Oh, so he's like a holy dude.
He's one of the guys that's securing the upper levels. Yeah, and he's interested to know why it is that you have a prisoner here.
Yeah.
Is more his. He doesn't care that the guy is a prisoner. He cares about why you're here with the prisoner.
I'm here with a prisoner because he was a criminal. Tried to run down my traveling party, the Nissian Vagabonds. You may have heard of us. He's one of the raiders out from the lower, the steplands down below the mountains. I'm sure you've run into a few of these chaps.
The guy understands what you're talking about, and he still looks a little bit curious, and he asks what you're doing with him here.
A fantastic question. I had procured this gentleman as a sort of bargaining chip if the raiders ever caught up to us. But I suppose now that we've reached the forge, he could be a new member of the clergy.
We don't accept unwilling clergymen, but if you're interested, we can release him or escort him back to his homeland.
You're just
if he doesn't
going
want to be here.
Release this man, so he may raid and pillage again.
Excuse
Am
me.
I hearing you correctly?
The guy looks at you flatly and he says, I'm not here to judge this man's actions. If he's guilty of being a raider, why didn't you kill him?
I believe
The reason he said.
isn't it the reason I said, but also, aren't you a follower of Ilmater or one of the other 3 or 2?
He's not a follower of Ilmater. He's a follower of. Oh, there it is. I accidentally closed my thing. I was ready for this. So he is not the follower of Ilmater. He's actually a follower of Tyr, who is the maimed god and the god of justice. But this guy tells you that that while he does believe in justice, his place right now as a security guard is not to be dispensing justice on this man.
I don't expect a simple security guard to dispense justice. Certainly, though, someone here in this godforsaken place could God's forsaken place that could see to it that this man turns a new leaf.
Well, if you're looking for some sort of arbitration for your prisoner, I would suggest that you go to the Temple of Tyr itself.
Okay.
And there is someone who will render judgment on his actions.
And what would that look like approximately?
The guy shrugs. He
I'm
says, "That's
quite
not my."
familiar with Tyr. I personally am a follower of the lady who smiles, Timora, and I had a good friend of mine, Mr. Peter Montfort, was a follower of Ilmater and certainly taught me a few things along the way. I would not want to see any harm come to this man, certainly.
I'm just now. I have to get familiar with the Church of Tyr. I don't think that I can quickly and easily find some sort of basis as to the judicial.
Isn't it
The judicial
Ilmater who
shit.
says that anyone who has wronged can eventually do right and so forth?
The security, the effectively just fucking border guard is all he really is. Once again, directs you to maybe go to the temple, which also serves as like the palace of justice for this region. And he says that that's the place where the guys that actually do this stuff can tell you what can be done.
Well, maybe I should just cut his bindings now and let him go here, and perhaps you could do your job.
Wow,
Christ to win.
I love it.
Look, what do you want from this guy? He doesn't think it's a good. He doesn't want you walking around with a prisoner,
I
and
don't
he
want to
doesn't.
be
He
walking
doesn't.
around with a prisoner either.
Okay, do you want to give him the prisoner?
Sure.
Like shit. Do you want the prisoner back at some point? Because that's kind of really what he's trying to figure out. Like, what do you want done with him?
Oh.
Do you want us to deal with him? Do you want us to just fucking? Because
What
if
is
you're
dealing with him?
okay, you've come here with a prisoner. That's cool. They're offering either to perform a judicial hearing, like actually listen to what happened, arbitrate the issue, and convey a sentence on him, or if you really don't care, they're just going to escort him back to his homeland and let him free.
Yes, the first thing.
You want the first thing to happen. You want to take him to court. Okay. You want to take him to court.
Press charges.
Okay, so he's directing you basically to his church, which is the Church of Justice, because they do justice stuff, and he's asking you to do that.
And I have to lead this guy there?
Well, he can lead him. He can lead him for you, or he can
Yes.
like come with you. He can come with you and like
Okay, I
take
walk
over the
with
charge of
him,
the
I
prison.
guess.
Yeah. Fuck.
Okay, I walk
Okay.
with him.
I do. You walk basically. Okay, you go to effectively the courthouse, and he comes in with you, and he goes to the clerk and tells the clerk the stuff, and the clerk says, "Okay, so this guy tried to raid you. Is this correct?"
Yes. Why is this like filing like a police report in the 21st century? Don't these people like get off on like being like, yes, you should, yes, let's right this man the right way. This is what we do.
Let's write him right now.
I can't for the life of me find
It's
an
like,
easy way and efficient way to go through this process without
These are
just
like-
doing your generic police report. Like, I don't know. I can make it a grand affair. I really can. It's 9:00. And if I make it a grand affair, I'm gonna take a long time. It's not you I'm gonna take a long
I'm
time.
not asking you to take a long time. He just seems like, oh well, this guy hit your car. That's too bad.
You've showed up in a mountain. You showed up inside a mountain to the secret base with some Mongol in chains.
At people
And you
ready to
walked
let-
and you walked in there and you're walking around escorting this dude, and the mall cop, who doesn't like it when people are just randomly escorted into his underground mountain secret base
Okay.
as prisoners, is trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, because it's not something that they just want you to do.
The mall
So they're
of the like the triad god worship place where it's like, okay, we are going to war for the greater good.
Yes.
Mall cop.
He's part of this crazy cool organization. The thing that I'm trying to portray to you is he is not important to make important enough to make big decisions, but he's important enough. You know, he's a beat cop.
He's not important enough to lead my prisoner to give him a trial or whatever they do to people here.
He's not important enough to do that on your behalf.
Okay, I lead him to the fucking place.
That's what the whole thing I was trying to like portray is, you got to deal with this. He can take care, like he can take over it, and these are the things that he's allowed to do. Or he can take you to the place where the guys that can do more can. That's all I've been
Okay.
trying to do. So you're here, you're at the more important place, and they're saying, hey, what are you accusing this guy of? That is what I'm trying to get. What is Vinshenzo accusing this man of in this hall of justice right now?
I mean, if they don't want him, I'll keep.
No. This guy's
taking care
ripping
of him.
roaring, ready to go. This guy is like, this is the dude. This is the dude who's
okay,
like
this
ready
is
to
the
do
dude.
stuff.
I explain the situation again to this guy.
Yeah. This is the guy who wants your story.
Okay, I
he
give
wants you to
him-
tell him the
I
story.
give him the same spiel I gave the other guy.
Like, okay. And
Like,
he's
we
gonna
were
ask for
we were traveling to the forge to, do
Yeah,
holy
all that,
business
yeah.
or whatever the fuck whatever quest, whoever's
You
quest
recount-
we're following.
you recount the story, and he gets the picture from you because you're gonna recount it quite well.
We were
I'm
simply
sure.
traveling. This guy his group tried to rape us. I took him alive because I don't know. Isn't that a good thing to do? Am I a good person? I don't know. Fuck me.
So yeah, you took him alive. You want to use him as a bartering tool so that you can get out of a situation and not have to kill anyone. Like, it's very good, cool stuff. You're not being. This isn't like the police. The guy's not judging you and squinting his eyes at you.
Yes.
I'm not. This is not the impression I'm
I
trying
am
to give.
black.
It's true. You're a knife-eared piece of
Right.
shit. Anyways, so you recount the story, and the fucking dude turns around and he starts asking, like, the prisoner's there. He's not gagged at all, is he? Because he voluntarily he's not saying anything. I just want to double check before
I
I
would
start
not
saying.
gag him unless he was like making a problem of like being like speaking
No,
out of turn.
he's been an incredibly compliant prisoner.
That's awesome.
He's still being incredibly compliant. Even more so now that the fact that it's getting pretty real. So he starts
I mean,
talking
probably
with this
for
fucking
his
dude.
best outcome to be compliant
Yeah.
now that he's in like the court of God.
So this so-called bandit's story that he gives to the for all intents and purposes, like the priest in front of you. The story he gives is that he and his brother were herding some horses, and they had been dealing with horse thieves. And when they saw you, Vinshenzo, just sort of riding at full speed in the night, they thought you had stolen a horse, and they'd come after you. And when you hadn't slowed down or hadn't like acknowledged them when they tried to call out to you, they gave chase and tried to attack. And then you killed his brother and took him prisoner. So that's the story he gives.
Okay.
And so the priest, after hearing this story, requests your permission to take the bandit into their custody so that they can basically, he's heard he's heard both sides, and he's gonna go back and he's gonna like lock them away. He's gonna talk to a few people and make a decision.
And I talk to the priest and say, "Oh, what will you do to him if you find him of ill intent or whatever it is you do here?"
God damn it.
He tells you that based on your story, he definitely could be given some harsh censure, and what that looks like usually depends on the prisoner's request. So it could be hard labor, it could be a trial by combat, but usually those trials by combat are minor, not exactly spectacles.
Okay,
or it could be like a prison sentence.
I'm fine with that. Do I get any reward for bringing a troublesome Taffer to justice?
The priest sort of performs his little holy symbol thing, the whatever, and tells you that the reward for bringing somebody to justice is that you have done the right thing.
Yes.
Very well. I hope he has a fulfilling life ahead of him.
He looks at you pointedly and he says, "This man will live the life that his actions have led him to deserve."
Yes. Well,
and then he's
hard
gonna
labor isn't too different from what would have happened to him. Well, it's not important, really. Anyway.
Do you care about the outcome of this enough to care, or do you have no interest in knowing what the fate of this man?
I would be interested in what he would request for his sentence, and I guess whether or not he's released.
Okay.
If he's released, that's like kind of a fucking problem for me. Who's this fucking? Who's Vinshenzo who drug me up the mountain?
So this guy fucking kidnaps me, makes me shit myself.
He's gonna be the big bad.
Drags me out to this mountain.
Wipes my ass.
All right, I rolled a D20 to see what happens to him, and he got a 4. So they've decided that he is in fact guilty of being a piece of shit, and he is going to he is chosen to work his sentence.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's a fulfilling life ahead of you after all, sir.
There you go. So that's that story arc finished.
Hell yeah.
Close the door on that fucking book.
Thank God.
I've completed more story arcs than anybody else here.
It's because everybody keeps walking past them and choosing to ignore them.
I tried with several. The orcs, both in Vales and the fucking town we came across that was slaughtered.
Orcus?
After that, I just stopped fucking trying.
See, if Peter was here, we would have killed everything.
Peter was here.
If Peter was
we
here,
would
Peter
still
would be proud
like
of me.
If Peter was here, we would have been
Eventually.
so many people.
Peter would have
if
been
Peter
my
was
dad.
here, you'd still be back like I don't know, like a good 150 miles behind where you are currently.
Hell yeah.
You would have taken longer to get to where you are.
At least Peter would have been here.
He would have been here. He would have cared about the fate of all those poor people that you've just fucking never even knew their fates. Because you could have done it different.
It's too bad that
but you
while
know
we were
what?
traveling, Peter just face planted into the wagon and we just left them there to bleed out.
What?
What the hell? Nobody
didn't do
told
that.
me.
He
I was
got to the,
meditating.
He got to the fucking monastery and then he went and did his own path.
It's a reference to the fucking mission, you idiot.
Yeah, it's a reference to Arma.
It's a reference to the mission you.
Oh, I get it now. I understand. I get it now.
Okay, Xane, we get your jokes.
Xane rocks.
Thank you.
Okay. I go to the hotel and meet
That
up
was
with
pointed.
the others and inform them that the prisoner is no longer with us, but he's still
Nephis
alive.
is not there.
Is Nephis camping up above near the secret doors?
No, he would be camping somewhere near the lower entrance.
Oh.
Ooh, it is a valley.
He went to go look for water, a water source.
Oh, right.
There's
yeah.
a river in the valley, and he would have. Oh, if you're looking for one inside the mountain, then there's lots.
Nope.
There's plenty. If you're
Outside.
looking for one outside, there's a river in the valley, and there's good, nice spring mountain water.
Hell yeah. That's
Mountain
the best
spring
kind.
water. The valley is plentiful enough in fish in this mountain stream, as well as there's some game in the hills that you can sustain yourself on if you choose.
Nephis chooses to set up his a camp next to the river.
Okay.
Aye.
Have you've been to Colorado before?
Yes.
I've only ever been to California.
Like, but
Dang,
you've been
sad.
in Northern California?
Yes, I live in Northern California.
Okay, well, essentially it looks like Northern California.
Wow.
With like the cedars and the woods and like the
I'm
mountain
just gonna go outside,
the
guys.
mountains. Not the temperature, different temperature, but
Nephis
matter.
finally touches grass.
So used to touching sand.
okay.
Okay.
So enhanced, I'm looking at your list here. So I'm gonna say, based off of the one list that I have, you're gonna be able to get all the stuff you need. You'll be ready in terms of the stuff you want from here so far. You'll be ready to leave in 3 days.
Oh.
And that's 3 days not just for the crafting of stuff, but it's 3 days, and that includes them like getting your shit packed up and ready to go too. And they're going to be giving you like supplies and things like that. Anything else, like all that stuff. 3 days for you to be ready to just walk out of there without having to worry about packing.
So we all got our stuff. Woohoo! I hope everyone.
I'm saying based on the list, the one list that I've gotten so far.
I haven't started typing it down. I figured I'd do it after the session since
Yeah,
you were gonna.
but
do
I'm giving you guys a timeline, and if the statement is going to be that that you have no interest in doing anything else in this mountain.
I have interest.
Okay, what are your interests?
What's the hotel like?
It's not high quality at all. It's not bad, but it's just not extravagant. There's ample sleeping quarters. You are each capable of having your own room if you choose. It's essentially like a large underground barracks wing. There's communal like washing facilities.
Ugh.
There's well, sorry, when I say communal, I'm not talking about like big open showers, but like for each wing has its own like sanitary area. So that kind of a barrack style thing. But you have your own rooms with beds and dressers and closets and all that kind of stuff. So you have your own room with your own space, and you have places where you can go and eat. There's a meal hall where they serve breakfast, lunch, supper. And then for doing things or whatever you want, there's training facilities, there's libraries, there's also the Dwarven stronghold itself, which is a lot more of a normally structured place. So they have, taverns and bars and shops and things like that, and places where you can get more normal services.
Are there higher end places to stay?
Yeah, there's higher end places to stay in the dwarven stronghold. If you want to go into like one of the places there, there's a higher end tavern which is meant for trade caravans, merchant guildsmen.
Yeah, I go to the highest end in possible, imaginable.
Okay. All right. Just give me a second to sort that out. Is anybody have any interest in doing anything, or are you guys just gonna all wait for your shit to be done?
Are there any
In
magic?
3 days.
You said there's libraries. Are there any like magical people around?
Yep. There are magical people. There are alchemists. There are with any dwarf stronghold, you usually end up getting like little gnome tinkerers and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot of interesting stuff that you can find.
Oh, I can't wait to explore it all.
Okay, so you have stumbled across this quite lovely place, and it's going to cost you 3 gold pieces for a night's stay.
Oh, this is a high-end place, eh?
Yeah, it's quite a high place. So the walls, and they're like gilded with gold. Like the room that you have is its own suite. You've essentially for 3 gold pieces, you've rented a small apartment.
Hell yeah. I would go there and I would offer anyone in the party who isn't a freaking retainer or whatever, a fucking NPC, except Anton. I would also offer Anton lodging in a room at the tavern, and I would cover meals and whatever there as well for the first night.
Nice.
If anyone was interested.
Yeah, Carlos will take him up on that offer.
Khutula
Very
likes free shit.
So Khutula, Carlos, that's 6 gold, 9 gold including me.
Okay, cool. Oh, what a wonderful place to stay.
And I would ask the tavern keeper about performing there. Perhaps he's heard of me.
Roll d20 plus your charisma.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm glad I got my charisma fully leveled up now.
Woohoo!
And you have proficiency with it? Oh, baby.
This is just a charisma. Do I add anything? Is it like a persuasion?
I'm just asking you to do a straight charisma check.
Oh.
So it'd be your
13.
This is in a response to perhaps you've heard of me.
13.
13. Perhaps he has.
Damn, I should have been inspired.
Yeah, but whenever you do like a check against like just a stat, see how your charisma has that proficiency bonus, so you'd add your proficiency bonus to it.
No,
So
those
it'd
are
be-
saves.
That's saving.
Yeah, that's what I'm
throw.
saying. It's the same thing.
No, it isn't. A generic ability check is not the same thing as a saving throw.
I think that's up to the DM to decide.
According to base rules, but yes, DM decides.
Anyway, 13.
When I ask, I'm gonna make this a ruling despite what the rules say, because this is how I've played D&D since I can ever remember. When I ask for an ability roll, when it's a straight check of a stat, so for instance, like now charisma, what I'm asking for is your roll plus your charisma modifier. And the reason
13.
I find that to be a very simple reason, just because that's the way I've done it.
It's
So
a
you gotta-
generic check. That's how they work.
Okay. 72
Um,
minus.
Yeah. Anyways, so he has not heard of you. But he has. Do you say Vinshenzo? You did say Vinshenzo Cairona, correct?
I would introduce myself as Vinshenzo Cairona of the Nicean Vagabonds.
So he's heard of the Caironas, but he hasn't heard of the Nicean Vagabonds. And he tells you that he would be happy to host a performance from a member of the Cairona family.
Ah, yes. Heard of us, have you?
He's heard of you. He hasn't heard of your whatever the hell that you're talking about.
Well,
like
that's
he knows.
what I mean.
He knows
Us is my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
I would say yes. Certainly, I would put on my best performance, especially for someone who knows of my family.
So he asks if you're here to meet up with the other Cairona delegation that's traveling through tonight.
Oh, I hadn't. What a coincidence! What a lucky coincidence! Lady Tymora shines upon me. I had no clue that a fellow Cairona, or what is it? Like a.
It's a delegation from House Cairona is also
So it's not
expected to be
necessarily
here tonight.
Caironas, like actual Caironas, just people working for.
Well, that he doesn't know who's showing up. He just knows that there's
Yes.
a delegation. Like somebody's coming in beforehand saying, "Hey, make sure you have places available
What a fortunate
at this time for these
coincidence.
people."
Yes, I had not heard. I've been traveling for quite a long time, or quite a long ways, on my way back home. It will be good to meet with some people representing my house. That's awesome. Hell
Cool. Just really quickly because I'm reading the chat. Nephis, you are unimpeded for your for taking your stuff. You're allowed to come and go as you please.
yeah. Who did this to my fucking cat? Stop.
Stop.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Isaac, you're helping out in the round. I assume you're just going back to the warehouse.
Yeah, unless they have somewhere else specific they needed help.
How much?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you do Control Z, Devon? I hate these fucking note cards.
What'd you do?
I accidentally
Probably tried to-
deleted the entire note card when I was just trying to delete one part of it.
Oh, fuck.
It's really easy to delete everything if you're just like trying to move your screen and you don't realize you're clicked into something. Then all of a sudden, why does it just say W?
If you want to do things like you can do the warehouse, they'd also love help doing things like hunting. If you want to do security patrols or helping maintain the armory or something like that, like given your martial nature. If you'd like to, like there's a few things that they like, a number of things that they
Hunting
can help out
and patrolling,
fuck yeah.
probably.
Well, they'd love anytime they can get an experienced hunter, and depending on how much you reveal about yourself, like if you let them know where you're from originally and stuff, they'd be really happy to have you along in their
Yeah,
in their
I mean,
patrols.
they're friendly enough.
So I know you're experienced a lot traveling on the ground, but these guys are willing to offer you the opportunity to do air patrols
Whoa.
if you're if you've ever flown or not.
No, but I'd be interested in learning.
Deadly. Okay, so you're gonna go and do that.
That's a lie.
Um,
We've all flown.
We've flown.
Yes, I've flown unconscious carried by a bird.
You were
Yeah.
there. Don't you remember when your shit was pushed in?
Don't you remember when you almost died? And when we all almost died? Fuck.
That time we almost all got
God.
fucked.
I got sweaty.
Okay, so you're gonna spend. I know it's gonna sound really anticlimactic when I say you're gonna spend some time doing that. Don't worry, we'll actually do it. I just want to make sure I get all of my ducks in their respective rows. So Nephis, you're just gonna hang out in the woods and fish.
No, he's going to scout the area to see if there's any tracks. That's why I rolled the 16 or the 12. For survival.
Okay, my dumb monkey brain thought you were rolling 12 to fish.
No.
Okay, you scout the surrounding area. You got 12 for that, and then you proceed. Okay. Is there anything specific you're scouting for?
Tracks for the Swagan.
Sahuagin. All right. Well, you don't find any tracks for Sahuagin. You do find some animal tracks, including grizzly bear.
Ooh.
But you do not find any Sahuagin paw prints, tracks, things. Okay, so you are fishing. Carlos, what are you up to?
Carlos is gonna just hang out with like Vin and Khutula. Gonna listen to whatever performances Vin does, and probably train Khutula some more on the rapier.
As I mentioned earlier, there are actual full training facilities that are on offer for use if you want to use those.
Oh.
If it's more in character that you guys that the two of them would just kind of hang out and do it in the tavern, that's cool. I mentioned it earlier, and I don't know if that's anything of interest.
In the fine tavern, just sword fighting.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude! It's a
Fighting on the tables.
hell yeah. It's
There we go.
entertainment.
It's
Put on a
Theater.
show
In between
with fucking
bouts.
Vin's music.
Hell yeah. I would leave it up to Khutula if she wanted to do it just in private, or if wanted to go somewhere that might have better stuff.
I was trying to take some time to look through my notes and see if I could help procure something that would be of use to us. She lifts up her journal that has all the shit that she's scribbled down over the travels.
Carlos stabs the journal. No, I'm just kidding.
No!
Unironically, I imagine Cthulhu's journal to actually look like a Hilroy 200-page notebook with a bunch of heart stickers and fucking little drawings of a dragon. Purple.
Nephis put those on there.
Nephis likes to doodle.
You have a pen with one of those fuzzy unicorn tops.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's in my head now when I think of Khutula. Okay, so Carlos, you're hanging out with Vinshenzo and seeing what you can do to be with Khutula. Khutula, you're
Khutula
just
into
doing
shape.
notes.
She's looking through because I can come up with an idea out of character as to what I might want to search for, but I want to have her search through her notes and see if she can uncover any ideas.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold
For-
on.
Dealing with the vampiric threat.
I'm going to put you down as doing research.
Yes.
And Carlos, you are doing research. Because I think that's funny. Vin, you are performing. Oh, there's no Anton. Sad.
Yeah.
Okay, well that just leaves. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure that I hadn't left anybody behind. So we're quickly gonna go soaring through the skies with Isaac. 9:35. We're gonna soar through the skies with Isaac. So you are led to you're up in the upper part of the mountain. If you imagine the mountain as generally looking like an old bendy wizard's hat, you're sort of in the very sharp bendy part of the wizard's hat. So it's pretty much sheer rock faces. The reason this is important is because the part of the barracks sort of area, the militarized area of the triad, it goes to the halfway in the middle of this rock face. I'm sure you're kind of guessing where this is going. So this is where they take off for their air patrols and come back in for air patrols. And what they use, while you do see what appear to be berths for airships, there are none there, and they don't look like they've been used for a while. You do notice and you recognize what they are, though. However, these guys are using griffins. Using griffins to patrol the skies around the mountain and through some of the mountain passes. It's explained to you that just because of how remote and poorly settled this area is, and because there are so many pilgrims, one of the things that the triad worshippers like to do is make sure that anybody who's lost or hurt, at least there's a chance they can find them. Usually, if there is that, they do actually get there in time. A lot of times for rescuing pilgrims or stopping bad things, but as well just to investigate and see what's in danger. He tells you that the responsibility is shared between the triad of the forge and the the drow at the gate that's farther north. So they sometimes link up with each other.
I need to turn down Vinshenzo. He's very loud.
Sorry, I just realized how loud that was. I turned it down. Is that good?
Yeah, that's pretty. Well, I think
That's a little better.
Anyway, yeah. So the patrols that they send out, it's usually 4 people, 2 each per animal, and they go for usually around 2 hours out in the mountain range, just flying around, seeing if they can see any issues. Given that, I don't know how much experience you have with flying things.
None.
Okay, so given that, they're gonna get you to basically ride back seat. There's three other patrollers going out. You're given a uniform to wear, which is scale mail.
Oh.
The reason that they're giving this to you is just because you're going to be in higher altitudes, and this is lined with fur, and it's meant to keep you warm and safe while in flight. But it's still meant to offer protection just in case you have to do something.
It's also probably not heavy.
It's not
Scale
as,
mail.
yeah, it's not as heavy as plate, but it's still pretty decent.
It is classified as heavy armor, unlike half plate, which is classified as medium.
Which is really funny. Yeah, and they also have
is considering half plate as almost full plate.
They also have Pavis shields and heavy crossbows that they use, or that they give. So there's 2 crossbowmen essentially, and then there's 2 swordsmen. But these guys carry spears. They have swords as well. Everybody's got swords, but these guys carry spears. But they primarily use.
While I would prefer to use a longbow, I don't know how feasible that is from the back of a griffin.
So the guys explained to you that longbows are really good on the ground, and if you want to bring your longbow, you can. The weapons themselves, if you want to use a longbow and you're willing to try off the back of a griffin, if something goes wrong, in their experience, just the physics of it is weird, but at the same time, they've also used crossbows a lot more, so that's what they're comfortable with. So if you want to use your longbow, it's fine, but they ask that you at least wear the armor so that you can be identified as a member of the patrol.
I will
and
wear
all
the
that.
armor so I can be identified and better equipped for the actual task.
Yeah.
This
So
isn't on the ground fighting a horde of dudes. So,
No.
pathlighting ain't the best choice.
yeah, it's a more dynamic approach. So you're gonna go out for 2 hours, and I'm gonna get you to roll a D100 for your first hour of travel.
$24.
24. All right, roll me perception. You're scanning around. So you guys are going through valleys and taking. Well, the griffins themselves are having a great time. You guys are
I'm going to
sort of at a
guidance
higher
myself
altitude.
because there's not really any reason not to.
Oh wow, 4 for guidance. So that's
18, 23.
23. You have eagle eyes, my friend. So at this point in time, you guys are flying above a long lake that's at the center of a valley. This is the next valley over from where Nephis is currently romping around. As you're traveling, you notice along there's a little road that travels along, it's going north-south right now. And from underneath the canopy of a tree, you can see what appears to be a cart that has been broken. It's lost its axle completely, and you think you can see people moving around down on the ground.
I point this out to the person actually controlling the mount.
All right, so he sees that, and he signals his buddy with they got like a flags that they use that are attached to their gloves, and they curl around and they take a low pass. And as you take a low pass, you can see that it is in fact a cart. And it looks like the wheel and the axle have been shorn off completely by a large rock. Looks like it crunched down a little bit too hard. So by the time you've done the pass, they land. And the guys get off. All 3 of them get off, and they start making their way towards the cart. They spread out. They look like they're watching their surroundings as they move up, and they're not trying to get there too fast.
I get off and follow them while keeping eagle eyes around in case bandits or anything like that.
Yeah. You want to just roll me? I know you got a good passive perception, but just because you are looking around, can you just roll me perception?
I mean, I got decent passive. Oh, that's not great. That is a 12.
12.
Hell yeah.
Well, 12 is a 12.
That's
So
a solid roll.
you're looking around as you're going up, examining the surroundings, and as well trying to examine the scene a little bit. Just keeping your eyes out. Nobody seems to see anything in the trees, and as you're looking around too, you can't really see anything in the trees. There's nothing up or down the road, and you don't notice anything suspicious. The scene itself before you is as such. There's this broken cart, and a mule that's still attached to the cart itself. It's on its little reins and everything, and you see a family of 5 dwarves. There's a female, 2 males, and then 2 children. These dwarves look like they're in pretty bad shape. One of the males is injured. His entire left shoulder down to his elbow is wrapped in bandages, and he seems to be leaning on either just a chunk of wood or a really crappy cane. You can't quite tell. The children themselves look quite thin. They look like they haven't eaten anything good in days, and their eyes are quite droopy when you get close. As you get there, the guy in charge of the patrol, the sergeant who you'd been speaking to, walks up and he announces himself as being a member of the Holy Order of the Triad and asking if these people need assistance. The people seem to be a little bit taken aback, and they seem very fearful of the patrollers, and despite his convincing, or despite his attitude, he's just coming across as being very almost harsh, a little bit too businesslike, and he's not conveying any compassion when he speaks to these guys. They're talking to each other quite quietly. You're able to catch the conversation, but you can definitely tell that whatever this guy is saying, these people are feeling very intimidated.
I'm gonna step in. So what's the problem here? What happened? Why are you injured? Do you need someone to help you with those wounds?
So the male explains to you that they've been traveling quite some time across the steppes of the Dordian Khaganate, and that they'd been ambushed by raiders. And so far, everybody they've met has been trying to exploit them, and they're very scared right now. Can you roll me a medicine check for the guy's wounds? Just because you're close enough to see them now, you can see.
Oof. That would be a 8.
An 8. Okay. Oh shit! What does an 8 for medicine sound?
He fucked up, bro. I don't know what's wrong.
Shit! You look like you're in pain.
That's a solid roll.
The wound looks pretty serious. The way that he's got it all bandaged up and stuff, it might not have been properly sanitized, especially out as long as possible. It's possible that he might have an infection, or he might be in danger of an infection.
I'm gonna ask him how long ago he bandaged the wounds, cleaned properly and stuff.
He tells you that he's been changing his dressings daily, and his wife has been tending to him with herbs. But he does tell you that because of his injury, he's not capable of repairing the cart. If there's anything really that can be done, it's if he can get his cart possibly repaired. That would be the biggest help.
In that case, I would like to go inspect it. I mean, I'm not a carpenter, but I have woodworking tools and I'm proficient with them.
You're not a carpenter, but you have woodworking tools and you're proficient with them.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, specifically wood carving, but yeah.
Shit, I don't really know how the whole woodworking tools thing. Like, if you're checking something out from carpentry,
woodworking specifically is like smaller wooden stuff, whereas carpentry is like building houses.
No, I get that. I'm sorry. I'm talking from a D&D mechanics level of rolling to see what the hell you can do fix. I'm trying to think of that.
You can.
What that would be.
I believe if you have wood carving proficiency, if you inspect stuff that's made out of wood, you get like a bonus or something from Tasha's Cauldron, I think.
Yeah, and if
or is
Jill
it
wants to like repair the wagon, then yeah, he'd add his
It's intelligence. I'm just gonna. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything like.
I vaguely remember it, and I think it was in Xanathars, maybe.
But just roll me fucking intelligence.
Tool proficiency.
Tool proficiency. There you go. I assume it's your proficiency bonus.
78. Wood carvers. Yes. Your expertise lends you additional insight when you examine wooden objects such as figurines or arrows. Okay, so it's Arcana and History bonuses, effectively. All right. Or
That's
Nature.
interesting.
But yeah, no, Arcana, History, and Nature, it would give me additional information about wooden objects. But yeah, no, alright, so Intelligence, you say?
Yeah.
Can I guidance this?
Sure, you can guidance your examining of a cart. You ask God Almighty to tell you why this cart is bad.
10.
10. God leans down from the heavens and whispers
The
to
goddess in her infinite wisdom tells me, you're
you. Oh
fucking
wait, it said
stupid.
goddess. The wheel's broken.
Yeah, the wheel's broken, dumbass.
Well, you can see that the wheel is not just broken; it's fucking smashed. Basically, what happened? Like you can kind of looking at the scene and looking at the way the damage presents itself. What you think happened was basically the cart was traveling, like they were going down a little bit of a hill, and it dropped from a rock. Essentially, like they just kept going, and the wheel bounced downwards off a rock, and doing so with all of the weight caused the wheel itself to essentially buckle and fail. So this isn't a field repair. This isn't a, oh, I'll just fix the spoke. This is a, you need to build a new wheel.
This is beyond what I can do quickly, or probably even do at all.
Is this something that you want to explain to the dude?
Yeah, I would explain that it's beyond my ability to repair this. The only real assistance I could provide would be flying in a spare.
Oh, the dwarf's eyes light up. Could you do that? Would you really be able to fly us a new wheel? That would allow us to carry on
look
with
at
our
the other
journey.
guys, and I'm like, well, I mean, we can do that, right?
Hang on.
Especially since he described to me earlier that helping people on their way was kind of our job.
Yeah, it's true. He did say that. And I just rolled for him to, I don't know, see who the fuck he is. He's gonna take you to the side and he's gonna say, we can do this for them, but at the same time we need to do our patrol. So we'll have to let one griffin carry on, and then the other will have to go back and get the wheel. These people need to these people definitely need help, so we can do that for them. Yeah, he's on the side.
I mean, if they want to get on with their patrol and just have one of the birds get the wheel, then I can stay here and, assist them in the meantime.
Okay. Sure. He likes that idea, so that'll happen. Your bird rider, your buddy is gonna go back, the pilot, and then he and his fella are gonna carry on doing the patrol. And you can watch the dwarves, who are very happy that you've stayed here. Okay. For the sake of the fact that it's 9:55, and I only noticed exactly that it was 9:55 now, I'm gonna have some fun with you. Chill. You and I are gonna have some fun next session.
Oh no.
This is going to be a random, fun, cool encounter, and now I've realized that this could actually be like, I don't know, this could be an interesting, let's just roll with it. Let's have some fun. I mean that in a genuine way, not like a be warned. It's, I don't know, it could be interesting. We're not going to make sessions out of it.
I'm a little bit afraid of my dice right now.
I'll get you home safe and sound. Do you trust me?
Yes, but will the dwarf get away safe and sound?
Look, I didn't say you'd come home with your sanity intact. I just said safe and sound. Anyways, okay. So, tavern. I think everyone's there except for Nephis, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Nephis, are you intending to just kind of spend the remainder of the time out in the valley, hanging out in the wilderness? I know I asked you that before. I just can't remember what you said.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, cool. I'll try and keep that in mind. I'll try my best to remember that when planning for next session. So, Vinshenzo and Carlos and Khutula. Very obviously, the thing that you will have been waiting for, willing or not, is the appearance of a member of the Cairona family.
Oh,
And in the evening,
how did my
we're gonna-
performance go?
you performed quite well. Everybody loves the tales that you are weaving. How long are you spending your time performing?
As long
His-
as I will be allowed.
You're allowed. Like with that 21, yeah, you start playing and everybody is into it. They're totally thrilled. So the longer you play, like no one leaves. People show up and nobody leaves because they're just too busy listening to your music and they don't want to go away while you're still playing. They're waiting for you to stop.
Then I would play until I plan to retire for the night.
Well, okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood that part because in the evening, sort of around the evening meal time, supper time, is when you see a gaggle of drow show up.
Hell yeah.
And you immediately identify Ristel the Second,
Oh,
Ristel 2, or as everybody just knows him as Young Ristel Cairona.
hell yeah.
Who is at the head of Ristel II Cairona,
The
who is, for everybody else's
bitch.
information, that's his brother-in-law.
Oh.
It's Vinshenzo's brother-in-law. And he pegs eyes with you as well. But, of course, because he's proper and you have a job, he has a job to do, and obviously you're doing a job. While he acknowledges you non-verbally, he continues to conduct his like immediate business.
Ugh. Am I performing when I see him?
Yes, because you've told me that you're performing until it's time to
Hell yeah.
retire.
All right.
So
I will, since it's so late in the session, I'll continue that in IC so I don't run over because I have a lot to say to my family. It's been so long.
Family is
long.
important.
I will tell you, it's just him. It's none of the other members of your family.
Yeah.
It's just him, and then he's got like the entourage.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So he's the only one that matters. And so that would also mean that Carlos and Khutula, you guys are now witness to the fact that there is a Cairona. Nephis, you're hanging out in the woods. And Isaac, you and I are going to go on a very fun police adventure here. Because you're the police, I guess, today.
Oh god, there's two of them.
What?
Now it's getting out of hand.
Isaac Stormwind, Outback Police.
The police who
Bush Patrol.
who don't care about crime.
But I wish I'd taken
There's
healing
no way for
healing
me to
word.
describe how useless that guy was without demeaning him in some way.
What is
like
this, a citizen's arrest? Blow me.
pretty much.
He was the mall cop.
That's the I mean, he's standing guard in like the entrance of the mount, like at the top. He's like one of the
Right.
guards that was there at that promenade, right? There's nothing to fucking do. He stands there, and every once in a
There's
while,
nothing to
pilgrims
do?
come through.
Here's
like-
something to do, asshole.
But sorry, my point
Whatever it
is,
you
right?
do here.
You don't put the world's best and brightest fucking A team up on, sky duty. The fucking pilgrim entrance detail. He's just a dude. Poor guy.
Okay.
Anyways,
Whatever it is you do
that
here.
tangent's over. So cool. We got everybody.
Oh shit! I fucked up.
What'd you fuck up?
Didn't mean to send that yet.
I picked one spell too few. I think.
Oh, okay. As long as that's your fuck up.
Yes. In which case, I might take Healing Word and heal this man.
Oh,
Okay,
how
so
lucky are we?
Wharf Adventure. Vin, Carlos, Tula. Well, that's all I got for the session tonight, guys. Thanks for showing up. I know we had a week of absence, so appreciate you bearing with me on that. And I'm just gonna finish taking my notes here, but I don't really have anything else. If you guys have any questions, or if you want to ask anything, or you want to check on details about Forge, any of that, I'm just gonna hang out here for a couple minutes, just doing my notes here. But as for the session itself and the progression of the story, that's what I got. And I hope you enjoyed.
Hell yeah.
Yippee!
I plan on hanging out and being on for a little while. So if you guys want to do a game or something, I'm totally down.
Oh,
It's up to
hell
you, though.
yeah. We could do
Oh,
more
goody.
D&D.
I don't want to force that option on anyone.
Citizen's arrest? Blow me. All right, only one of us is a cop here, Bill. You understand that, Bill? No one knows who you're fucking shut the fuck up!
Oh my god.
Thank you.
Only one of us is a cop here, Einstein.
Nephis. Duh. Bush. Winky face.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you unsent it. Oh.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Only one of us a cop, Einstein. Oh. Hello?
I'll have to get more details on the Cairona family people. I don't know.
Yeah. I tried to pick one that wasn't the two most important other members of the family, and then I quickly realized that you have absolutely no other fucking details on them. So anything you want to give me, I'll use.
Yeah.
But if you don't give me something, I'm gonna have to make it up, and I'll do my
give
best.
I'll give you more. I'll give you more.
Yeah, I don't mind. I can make stuff up too. I'm happy to. I'm just
No.
No.
It's my family.
Damn.
Back off.
It's my
I get to choose how
my
fucked up it
make-believe
is.
family. They love me. Finally, a family who loves me.
Devon, I gotta ask, and I know you're doing a really good job at playing the character Nephis. But what would
Damn.
you like? Would you like something to happen in the woods, or like I
Sure.
feel really bad when
What?
you're just doing nothing, but at the same time, it's
He's keeping us safe.
there's only so much that you can really make out of the woods. I would like to do more with you, especially
are you
especially because I
talking
feel bad. So
You can
is
do
there?
a lot of- there's a lot of things that you can do.
Literally anything could happen in the woods. It's fucking
But
D&D, Einstein.
I'm trying to open a dialogue to see if there's any kind of interesting things that you think, like some a direction that I can go in that would be interesting, and not just like I can pull something out of my ass. I'd be happy to. I'm asking. I'm interested in your input.
Nephis could discover Sahagin tracks or literally anything else in the woods. In a woods.
Navy boys make do.
Oh god, fucking next session when it comes around to me, I'll fucking figure something out.
I'm happy to do a side
Fucking
thing with
smoke
you
a
hanging
bigger
out in the
bowl
woods.
next time. How
I'm
about
just
that, wise
I-
guy?
I'm just interested in making sure that you're having a
Maybe
good
Nephis
time,
could
and
find a dungeon.
maybe he
What's
could.
this game called again?
What's the what?
Uh,
Maybe.
Or a dwagon.
Dwagon.
I already got one of those.
how loud is this? Oh,
Yeah, with
Not-
Khutula and Carlos, we got like maybe like 5/8 a dragon. I don't know. That's got to count for something, right?
We gotta find Sesh again.
Oh, I don't know. Would you be interested in doing like a beast hunting thing or like tracking down
A beast hunt.
or like delving through a lost ruin? A lot of the little bits that I put down, Nephis doesn't often pick up, so I want to actually do
Might.
something he'd be interested in doing.
hold on.
I'd like to do that.
Nephis goes out on a hunt, but then he becomes the hunted by a legendary
Maybe.
beast.
Just sitting down somewhere. Ugh. What was that? Is there like a beast hunting? No, he's interested in fishing, but I don't know.
Sharknado.
Okay.
Why is it so loud?
Jesus Christ.
Ugh. It's loud for me too, but it's limited. So shut the fuck up. It can only get so loud before it levels out. What was the question?
Ah,
That was my
fucking
actual
knew it.
phone. I'm sorry.
I was gonna make a fucking stalker joke and I couldn't think of anything.
Oh,
I miss Avil, dude. Avil had the stalker PDA as his text or his phone notification. I miss Avil.
I had Avil as my phone notification for a while.
I remember
What?
that. Avil fucking hated that. That was
Okay. Oh, it was perfect because when I was going around in my everyday life, it worked really well too. Because someone would say something weird at work, and my phone would go off. And go, okay. Oh yeah, it was perfect. I fucking loved it.
Hell yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, no. Oh fuck. Yeah, I miss him too. Some days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry. The question I had asked is, what is there like an interesting, cool side quest thing that you would / Nephis would be interested in doing? Whether it's like you find a cool animal to hunt, or maybe you find like a dungeon to dive in, or something like that. Like, is there something that would be interesting? Because some of the little bits of bait that I've left out as interesting things in the past, it hasn't really been jumped on. So I'd like to do something that is actually appealing.
Maybe Nephis can watch the horses. H.
Hell yeah.
We're all gonna go into this old cool creepy tomb, but Nephis is gonna go fish with an old priest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do something that is like against my alignment and my beliefs. Yes, of course I'm not gonna go tomb raiding with a fucking thief who went to the Thieves Guild.
I agree with you. That's why I want to find something that is in that lineup.
And now is a fucking reptilian.
Carlos
That's
really
racist.
fucked us up with that too.
Yeah, he fucking practically killed Anton.
Can we shit on Carlos
like
for
mentally-
the next hour?
Go fuck yourself. How about that?
Fuck, Chris. I don't know how to tell you to fucking make shit interesting for me. I don't know. I can't say. I've been really trying to hesitate saying anything because I can't think of literally anything nice to say.
Hell yeah.
It's
Wow.
okay.
This is
I
getting
don't know.
real.
Feedback is feedback.
What
I'm
if you
not
find
explaining
a-
that.
What if you find a Sahuagin with fat tits?
Then you might not find me again.
Oh,
Or maybe we might have a whole session of black screen. Fades to black. Okay, everyone stay silent. Oh. Ugh. Fuck.
You could mind break them with a spell,
No,
maybe.
that sucks. Yeah.
Okay, I'll find something.
I
Hope you like it.
I'll investigate the fucking grizzly bear. There's tracks of a grizzly bear.
Well, oh my fuck.
And he's a grizzled veteran.
Is Nephis a trophy hunter? That would be pretty cool trophy,
Actually,
like
a druid.
a grizzly bear head.
Maybe.
Or maybe it reminds you of Cecilia and you could murder it.
Poor Cecilia. Her only flaw was being an NPC.
And then fucking stinking up the place.
Yeah, she did do that.
That was the biggest fuck
And
up,
then she
honestly.
did nothing.
And that was from the assistant DM that showed up for one session.
Yeah, I was really hedging a lot of my bets on being able to have that extra help.
I'll assist in DM.
I would trust Seeker more than that guy.
1 million gold to Mr. Cairona.
But wait, let me tell you more about the Cairona family. No. The fucking quest doesn't matter. The Cairona family, though.
10,000 points to the Cairona house, Mr. Potter.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you for the session. It was fun.
Thank you for showing up.
Yeah. I'll catch you all later.
Copy that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at least gonna exit out of Tabletop Simulator.
You guys remember when Dumbledore like made like house point inflation? Like what the fuck?
What?
At the end of one of the books, he was like, "Oh, it was Slytherin that had the most points this year, but you know, I'm adding 100 points to Gryffindor." Yeah, I don't know. It was one of like the early
The system
books.
is
Because it was,
crap,
it
because
was the one that I was like, it was one of the ones that I was actually like at the age level to still read and like be interested in. I didn't read all the books. I read like maybe the first 3. It might have been the first one.
He sent the house market down? What?
Yeah.
Oh. That kind of sucks.
Oh, you mean when they showed up randomly and it's just like, oh yeah, you win technically, but at the last minute, I'm just gonna award a bunch of these points to like fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh look, it looks like Gryffindor wins.
That's point inflation, dude.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, imagine being like I don't even know what you get if you have the most points at the end of the year. I don't remember. But imagine being like, "Oh, we had the most points, guys. We're going to have a pizza party." And then it's just like, "Oh no, the protagonist of the book fucking rigged it." Yeah, those books fucking sucked. Sorry. And if you're past like the age of like 12 and you still like them, you're a loser.
I didn't understand the hype about the game.
The hype was the fact that it was nostalgic, and then people didn't like the game because they didn't like J.K. Rowling, and they didn't like J.K. Rowling because she said something that could have potentially been transphobic.
I thought everyone liked J.K. Rowling because she was transphobic.
She's based, dude.
Not the internet.
The internet doesn't give a fuck. but the woke
There
don't
were
like
a bunch of like
JK Rowling.
militant trannies who like were like
Oh,
crashing
so are
people's streams and stuff who were playing it. Which I mean is kind of
That's
funny,
kind of funny. Yeah.
on its own, but
Militant.
I don't know what fucking happened, but I guess a lot of people like got fucked up. Like some like artist like lost or like quit the internet because of it or something. I don't know. I didn't pay too much attention to it.
Damn.
Pretty gay. Yeah, like it's like, oh, it's the Harry Potter game. Like I don't fucking give a shit about Harry Potter anymore. Like they didn't come out fast enough for me to like stay engaged. I was like in high school when like the last books were coming out, I want to say.
Yeah, but there's enough of the unwashed regular masses that still enjoy that kind of thing that are gonna pick up the game and spend $80 and
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And there's all those people who really like Harry Potter, and there's the kids that are currently growing up and going through here. They got a fairly wide market for people who
Just
would like a
play
Harry Potter
Roblox.
game.
There's probably Harry Potter Roblox.
Oh yeah.
You guys want to play Harry Potter Roblox?
There definitely is now. There's
It
probably
has
like a 1-to-1 game. Just like blatantly fucking like the same game, just worse.
But it's free. Oh, I'm gonna go work out. If you guys are still on later, or I'll be down to play.
I wish I was.
Good night.
Bitch. Good night.
You're a bitch.
Whoa.
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 Yeah, I don't know, since it's the end of the session, Chris, or I have like 2 things that I want. Can I say them?
You can talk about them right now. Yeah,
Are
sure.
there spell scrolls available?
Ask me directly what you want.
A dream spell scroll.
A dream spell scroll. Okay.
When he's done, I'd also like to ask.
A dream spell.
Just gonna write this down on my gift shop page.
And I would buy multiple if it's, I don't know, maybe not. I might not have the money for multiple. It's a pretty high level spell, I think. I think it's like 3rd or 4th or maybe 5th level. I don't know. It's one of those. It's kind of high level.
Kind of up there.
Kind of up there.
My
Kinda up
fucking
there.
shit doesn't clip onto this table very well.
Okay. I don't know what the dream spell does.
It's a long.
It's you wouldn't understand.
So this place is more like a place that has
It's a 5th
You
level
know,
illusion.
this is a place for armor and some like enchanted type things that have been
Yes.
It's blacksmith and blacksmith related, and I feel like spell scrolls are not really something that would be in spell scrolls and non blacksmith, metal kind of shit or armor or jewelry. That I don't think that's the kind of thing that would be found in abundance here. I think that's more somewhere else,
But not here. Somewhere.
but not here. Like,
Son
yeah,
of a
there's all
bitch.
these enchanted rings and stuff and things that you can like request, but I'm gonna say spell scrolls. I feel like that's beyond the scope of this place specifically. This is a lot of like
Hell yeah.
religion and metalworking.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's not really a religious spell. The other stuff I would be interested in would be the stuff that I sent you earlier that I wasn't able to get. Perhaps.
Okay,
And that's really it.
Eh.
All right, I'm out of here, guys. Chris already sent you stuff.
Good
Yeah,
Like I said,
night.
I don't really care too much, so no pressure.